wrestling kids, and the millions listening live around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for the round table.
Hello there. Welcome, one and all, everybody from coast to coast. These are your boys with the most. This is your favorite podcast of 2025 and 2024, if you had any sense. Round Table Wrestling. I am one of your distinguished hosts, being both distinguished and esteemed. Yes, we make up words here, and I love it. I am one of your hosts, Pablo Aquino, saying Skibbity Wrestling. And I have Keith the Wildman Miller.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
I have David D-Lo Logan.
Valgo Planet, we robbing the Brinks.
Yeah. And then I got the Bostonian himself, Johnny Boston.
Aloha.
Yep, that's what they say in Boston.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And most importantly, we have all of y'all.
Yeah. Johnny, are you in a tent?
I am.
Very nice.
See where I'm at, it's 20 something degrees right now.
Okay.
But we set up a tent on we have a fenced in like part of our porch.
Mhm.
So we set up the tent right on the porch. There's a heater in the tent. Like
Okay.
I'm pretty much glamping out on my deck instead of in my house.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Good times. All right, right on.
Okay.
Shout out to people doing things on the outside. It just snowed over here, which is wild, and I kind of love the fact that I have a garage now.
I tell you what.
Yeah,
man,
we're about
just
to get our second round
Same
Yeah.
here.
today.
Yeah, you about
that's what I was just gonna say. Is I'm glad we've avoided it so far, but I'm in New England, man. There's no avoiding it for long.
That's
Yeah. You guys are gonna get smashed.
It's been a wild time for weather, Lord knows.
On the
I would
East
also
Coast,
like to I'd be remiss if we didn't mention that we have our thoughts and prayers to my former stomping grounds of Los Angeles, California.
Yeah, man.
They're going through a really rough time with the wildfires. Obviously,
Unbelievable.
there's very
stuff, man.
very little to no moisture out there. It does not rain, so when the fires happen, there's nothing to quell them. And I heard coach of the Lakers, JJ Redick, just lost his house.
Oh yeah.
And many other people have been displaced. Many other people have sadly lost their lives, and we'd like to say that we hope that things get better for them. It's not even something where we can talk about a resolution, because what can you do to stop them?
Right.
Sometimes Mother Nature just keeps kicking while you're already down. But those high winds and the dry humidity points aren't doing any favors for anybody. So, hearts out and heads up, man. Just stay safe out there.
Mm-hmm.
I know Rikishi just posted that he was okay, and then
Yes.
and then Samu commented, "I didn't even know you were home." So that's how it's crazy out there right now. So
For sure. And it also means that they already switched the Rams Vikings game. They already moved out to Arizona.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
now they're going to have their playoff game not in Inglewood, where it's supposed to be for the Rams Vikings, which is a big game over here. I'm in Minnesota, and
Oh, sure.
Lord knows it's going to be a weird one. It's going to be a weird game, considering it's going to be in neutral ground, but We'll
And
see how the turnout is.
you can't exactly play it there, looking like the background of one of the Doom video games,
Right,
Mhm.
right. I saw a picture of the fires behind the Hollywood sign, and I don't know if it was AI generated, but if it wasn't, it literally looks like an apocalypse.
I know it was creeping towards
this
the
is the
Hollywood
end.
Hills last night, so
Yeah.
that could very well be real at this point.
Yeah. It wasn't like the sign on fire, but it was like
I
a
haven't
bunch of
seen
fire
it.
behind the sign. It like looked insane.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of it yet. I just caught a bit of a news report that the fires were creeping towards the Hollywood Hills, and that was my first thought, was that
Oh,
like
shit.
picturesque vision of America itself dying. You know what I mean? Like, and it's every bit as reminiscent as 9/11 to me. You know what I mean? Because it's just unstoppable. We can't do anything about this except sit and watch, and that's the worst of all.
That's why it felt weird, because there is no resolution as far as
No,
man-made. There's nothing we can do. There's
all people can do is work together, and that's all I can say is work with your neighbor, not against them.
Yeah,
get to safety. There's a heck of a lot of good that we can still do in this world. Do not be discouraged about what's going on, the things that we can't control, because Lord knows this is something we cannot control. But
absolutely.
2025 has started off very weird. I blame a lot of this on Hulk Hogan, though.
It's probably all his
It's
fault.
his fault.
Absolutely.
It is fault.
Terry Bollea, just
Terry. Not Terry.
You should have taken Macho Man's album and helped it reach #1.
That's what I'm saying, man. Hey. We will bet this will not be the last time we mention Macho Man on this.
No,
Yeah.
I hope not.
So this is I'd like to before we get to the news, I'd like to say to remember to hit the follow button and subscribe to us. Check us out for your news. We love bringing it to y'all. And first piece of news that I've heard about, which I'd like to get y'all's opinion on, is that we have Saudi Arabia announced is going to be having one of the big four. There I go, playing with my hair again. One of the big four being the Royal Rumble, which I believe is a 2-nighter. Next year, yeah. So Saudi Arabia is host to the Royal Rumble in 2026.
2 nights?
I believe so, because that's what it seems like. The big
word is they're going to do like a women's main event. The women's Royal Rumble would be the main event on night 1, and then the men's Royal Rumble would be the main event on night 2. That's what they've been talking about. So
makes sense.
Right now I think it's just internet rumors, but it totally makes sense. If they're.
Do I have permission to curse a lot right now?
Unfortunately, probably not.
In that case, I have very little to say about the matter, except that I find it incredibly disrespectful to American fans that have followed this for, how many years now? And if you want to hold the greatest Royal Rumble or the newest Royal Rumble or the big shiniest Royal Rumble over there, that's cool. Give them their own thing. That's unique. That's special to them. That's cool. But taking something that is unique and special to a lot of people and bringing it over to a country that only has it because they demanded it with, dollars up front.
Mm-hmm.
It's to me, it's insulting, but on the flip side, I'm also probably going to be stupid enough to watch it because it's one of the big four. I want to see the Rumble. I want to see what happens. But flip side, I really do agree with what CM Punk tweeted to The Miz a few years ago. I'm just going to leave it at that. Because I can't repeat that.
Yeah. I hear that. D-Lo, how do you feel about this change? Because I personally thought that the only things that they were going to be doing over in Saudi Arabia was Crown Jewel, or if they had like a specific, but now we have an actual
big one, the big one,
like a big one of the big four, like the second.
I'd say
biggest.
the second biggest to me.
Yeah,
honestly.
I would say so. Bigger than SummerSlam, I'd imagine.
Well, yeah, I'm a little surprised, but I remember they were like in a 10-year deal, so I think they got 2 years left. I think 2028. I remember they did that. I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
So they got 2 more years. I I feel this is a part of the negotiations. They wanted something like a big four. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised about they wanted one of the big fours because it's big, and they had the greatest one. The Royal Rumble having 2 nights. If that's the case, I hope it ain't the case because that's too much. And y'all got that's way too much. But this deal, if they can get out these last 2 years, they're gonna have to probably give them another big four. I ain't gonna lie to you. I will not be surprised.
It's weird, you know. It's I personally was I think it's interesting how far we've gone in this where, and I'll mention that in a second, but Keith, let me get to you and then I'll give my 2 cents, my 2.5 cents.
Okay, so here's my thing. First of all, I think it's important to remember that this is a deal that was negotiated before the current administration was in charge.
Exactly.
So this is something that they have to abide by, that Vince McMahon and his people put together.
Exactly.
I think that's important. And then the other thing is, man, I'm gonna be honest. I feel more betrayed by the ticket prices than I do by them going to Saudi Arabia. Because as much as the pay-per-views cost now, they might as well be holding them on Mars. I'm never gonna be able to go.
Agreed.
The SummerSlam is in Indianapolis this year. And if I wanted, or not SummerSlam, I'm sorry, the Royal Rumble is in Indianapolis. So that's perfect. You know what I mean? The Royal Rumble's in Indianapolis this year.
Yeah, perfect. If you started selling blood a year ago,
I wanted to go so bad, you know. But in order for me to get a ticket that I wanted, I would have had to pay around $1,500.
Sheesh.
Yeah, and I know people who are like cool with sitting way up in the nosebleeds and paying, you know, $200 for that, and that's fine with me. You're like, but I'm not doing that. You know, I wanted to be able to be close enough to maybe get on camera, close enough to actually see what's going on without watching it on the screen.
Right.
And what it came down to was no one could go. Like, I literally have one friend who's going, and he was gifted a ticket. So
that's
lucky at that.
That's clutch.
Yeah.
It's
so
weird.
yeah, I mean, it being in Saudi, to me, you know, we've said this before, but the Netflix show, 17,000 fans, and it's set an all-time gate record. WWE has had close to 100,000 fans at shows in the 80s. 70,000, 80,000, 17,000 people.
They peacocking. That's peacocking right there.
17,000 people.
It was peacocking themselves right there with that.
Raised more money. You know what I mean? Like spent more to get into them shows than 80,000 people did.
And it's terrible to think that it's almost becoming like an elite event that you need to be wealthy to attend. Like,
absolutely. And wrestling was not that.
No, that's what I'm getting at. You know, I mean, not that I'm gonna date myself, but 6 years old in the mid '80s, watching Dustin Rhodes and Shawn Michaels at the Boston Garden, that cost us $10 each to get in.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? And like, we're talking like, like I can't even believe the price. It's so staggering.
Even in the late '90s and early 2000s, I went to a few Raws and had good seats for like $40.
Yeah,
at Syracuse War Memorial.
Yeah, early
mid-level
early 2000 SmackDown, I had good seats for about $40.
Yeah, mid-level. You know what I mean? So I mean, it sucks for the people who can afford it that they're doing this in Saudi Arabia. For the people who focus on the politics, obviously that's a big problem. You know, the human rights issues in Saudi Arabia are
ghastly.
You know, yeah.
That's what I wanted to. Go ahead. I want you.
No, I'm just gonna wrap up. But to me, them holding it over there isn't as insulting as the ticket prices. I mean, I can't go anyway. So
yeah, but you're talking about the ticket prices for the one here in America this year. Let alone, what do you think the ones in Saudi are going to cost?
I mean, nuts.
Right.
Into the arm and quadricep.
Then again, the
Yeah.
amount of money that they have to play with over there is egregious to begin with, considering.
Well,
True.
and I've also heard that they're like national events and you have to attend if you can.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's a completely different thing. You know what I mean? I'm not even sure
It's
how
true.
tickets
I didn't
work.
even consider that.
Yeah, I'm not even sure how tickets work with that. Because they're paid events. They've already been paid to do them. I'm not even sure if they, you just have to be there. So yeah.
It's strange. It's one thing that is alarming, at least to me, is that considering that there were years when the Vince's deal first started about the Saudi Arabia, there were years where the women weren't even having like wrestling matches,
Weren't even welcome.
or they weren't even welcome to the fact
Right.
that they're going to be having a 30, maybe if not
Yeah.
40 woman over the top Rumble, a main event.
Well, look
It
at the
shows a lot of growth, I suppose.
Yeah.
It does, but also look at when the planes they were on basically got hijacked. Hulk
Mhm.
Hogan and Brock Lesnar got to take a private jet and go home. Everyone else had to sit
Had to
there
stay,
and watch guys with guns board their plane and not know if they were gonna, fly home or get shot.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
And
ugh.
I don't know if you guys noticed this, but on the last time they were over there was at Crown Jewel. Liv was wearing a belly shirt when she got out of the car with Raquel, and I was like, "Dude, is she insane?"
Yeah, she could have been.
You know, I mean, she
Yeah,
I
Could
mean,
have actually been killed.
I
yeah,
like to
she
get
could have
stoned
actually
too,
been
but
killed for showing her stomach. Like,
that's what I was like.
yeah, I was like, man, she needs to get some extra material because that's, yeah,
yeah, I like to get stoned too, but that's not my thing.
right.
Stoned and
That's a reference.
slingshot.
Yeah.
Do the whole slingshot method.
So we'll see how that goes, but I was under the impression that they would only do specific PLEs there that
Right.
were specific to them. This kind of shows that
Like
money
the
talks.
greatest
And
Royal Rumble that they did a couple years ago.
exactly. And then,
Braun Strowman.
now what happens to the greatest Royal Rumble? Is it just never going to happen again, I suppose?
Right. Does
Oh,
it even
probably
exist anymore? Does it
I think
need
it was
to
just a
exist?
one-time thing anyway.
And if they're not going to bring back Titus O'Neil for every one, what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who am I going to see almost lose his life trying to get to the ring?
That was one of the greatest things I've ever seen, though.
We laugh
It was
about it,
pretty
and
damn
it worked so well, but he was about 2-3 inches from decapitating himself.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because under
could be
those
better.
rings is not,
No, it's not
Right.
just an open warehouse under there full of hornswoggles.
Mm-hmm.
The thing ain't get lost down there and fall in the deeper abyss. Oh my gosh, the
And
worst.
somewhere down there is
I mean,
CM Punk's contact.
apparently you can go to hell.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you choke slam
Oh, yeah.
hard enough.
Oh, yeah. No, you got to go
So-
through the canvas for that, though.
Oh, okay, right on.
You
That's the
can't
only way to
just
get to
go
hell.
under the ring.
Oh, okay. You can't. Okay,
Come on.
gotcha.
Yeah, you gotta go through it.
All right. Speaking of New Englanders and New England sports,
Uh-oh.
TNA lands a new TV deal with New England sports, they said.
Yeah.
Ooh, Nesson. Okay.
Yep.
Nesson.
As a TNA fan, I'm big on that.
Pretty excited.
I will
That
also-
means I'll get to actually watch them.
I know, right?
I like that they're diversifying. This is like their second TV contract that they've picked up outside of Access, I think. So
Okay.
good for them, man. Hopping around, trying to get more eyes on it.
Hell
It's
yeah.
good.
TNA move around a lot. Yeah. They went on Spike, the Pop, the freaking
It's
Yeah.
funny.
all
In,
types.
in most
Access. They be moving everywhere.
Yeah.
At
in
least they
most
get their own.
conversations, man, I'm the lone TNA fan, and it's weird. Like, I've been a fan of theirs since, like, right before the like Hogan Bischoff era. Like, I started really starting to get into and follow TNA and everything, and like since around that time, I've been a fan. And I gotta say, man, they've survived some disaster
survived.
Yes, they
level.
have.
Like, and they keep on swinging. They keep coming out fighting
Mhm.
with, new ideas and innovative ideas. And it's crazy to me that they can recuperate after just getting hammered like that. But it also just shows that longevity is earned.
That
Yeah, for
resilience
sure.
and the fact that they have some workhorses over there that are
Yeah.
are really, really pushing their brand and keeping them alive, and we'll keep them alive. I think they're going to have a good year. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to mention two more things about New England and possibly never again.
Done.
Shout out to the new champions. We have a new champions alert.
Oh,
Ring
yeah.
the bell for the new champions. New champions alert.
You know.
We have Mercedes Moné,
Mhm.
who is now a triple champion, everybody.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Atta
Oh,
girl.
yeah, baby.
What is it? The British Pro
Rev
Championship
Rev
this year?
Pro. She won Rev Pro. The
Yeah.
Rev Pro belt.
Rev
yeah.
Pro from Mina Shirakawa.
Mhm. Tasty.
So now she has the NJBPW
She actually got-
Strong,
She's got 4 belts though.
which was
I'm
the
not
other
sure.
one?
All the things.
I don't know, but she did pick up 4 belts.
I forget. It's some British something too. British.
That's-
It's
Well, the
like-
Rev Pro is the one I believe he was talking
Right. She
about.
got
with
Rev
British.
Pro.
That's 2 of them. That's like, well, I know the Rev Pro.
TBS,
Right. Rev Pro
and the
TBS.
Strong, the NJPW Strong.
And then there's like something else with like British something undisputed, something like that. It's like a
Something
pink
happened.
purple belt. It's like a purple type belt. I don't know
Someone
got
just
alert
said
from
something about Vince. Yeah, what's
Got
going on
alert
with
from
that?
the Nightmare.
It was breaking news on the dot with
Vince
SC.
McMahon.
Oh no, I didn't know we'd speak about him today, but
Right.
Hey, biggest
He
loser. You
sides
never
with
know.
Hogan. Vince
Nope.
McMahon comes out and says, Hogan, I still got your back.
I got her brother.
What
I'll
a
still
shot.
put you over time.
Yeah. All right, and not only was she one of the newer champions,
So there you go.
there's a few new champions. There was El Desperado won via the X coming up. Doki hurt himself
yeah.
really bad on dive,
Oy
I
vey.
believe, and we wish a speedy recovery. We never want to see a title change by that.
Mm.
But also on happier news, I've been talking about her all the time here, being the pride of Prior Lake, Minnesota. But
Oh, snap.
Tiffy time
Yeah, baby.
time is
it?
now, and I love the visual of Tiffy and Rhea.
That
being
picture is
champions.
amazing. Yeah.
Yes. And if we didn't already mention,
He's back.
Mommy's back on top.
Indeed.
Rhea Ripley. So it's a good way to start the new year. I've always big on starting the new year with new champions, just new blood. You know what I'm saying?
Faces.
So congratulations to all the new champions. Congratulations to the Fighting Irish Notre Dame beating Penn State, even though
Pick the boys.
I like Big Ten power, but shout out to Indiana, right? I think they're in Indiana.
Yeah, they're the same side.
Shout out to LeBron James catching L's with Drake dissing him on the Fighting Irish freestyle.
Yeah.
Which is talking about St. Mary's, being that he was part of the Irish, if people didn't know. So not good
Shout out
timing
to-
considering what's going on in LA.
That
to
was the
be
name of
dissing
Shout
my
out to the-
elementary school.
Shout out to the Pistons for getting above 500 for a day.
5-game win
they-
streak just to
yeah.
lose to my Warriors.
Curry
With
time.
no help to Curry, 2 of 14 from the 3. Good Lord.
Yeah, he was
Dude, the
fucked
fact
by
that they beat Minnesota with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, the one who scored 53 in that game.
SGA's on the Thunder.
No, that's the other.
Oh, and Anthony Edwards
Ant. Oh yeah, Ant is
scored
he's
scored
absolutely
53
monster.
points in that game. The Pistons still won, and then they lose to freaking the Warriors.
You make it sound like the Warriors are a step below.
Brother, the Warriors were 18-18 going into that game. They are not playing well this year.
Even
The
exchange.
Timberwolves are 19-18.
Well, no, but I'm just saying with the 53 points, like, and then they.
Oh yeah. Very
I
much
mean,
so.
I wasn't comparing the teams. I was just saying he scored 53 points. They still won. Probably we're on a big high, and then lost the Warriors.
I think the real reason the Timberwolves aren't doing good is that DiVincenzo's selling, so he'll get a cut and he can go back to the Knicks with the rest of his Villanova buddies.
Definitely could be, man.
I can see that.
It's been known to happen. So what was the McMahon news?
He said
Seems
that
like,
he reached a deal with the SEC
The Southeastern Conference. So
That's what I was saying. I was like, what? I usually I try not to talk about something I don't have any information on. I don't want to just blurt out something.
Okay.
But Vince McMahon making deals. Apparently, I don't want to see him in charge of anything
Right.
except
college football?
cleaning duty in his cell.
Right.
Yeah.
Then again,
agreed.
he'd probably get pardoned by the new soon-to-be president anyway.
More likely.
What I would like to speak about though is former WWE ring announcer JoJo.
Yeah, go JoJo.
Yeah.
JoJo Offerman worked as a ring announcer for the dark match in AEW Collision.
Oh, snaps.
Is that something that we're going to be seeing?
I had heard that, same
Possibly.
thing, but you never know. But I mean, obviously, isn't she? Wait, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Isn't she,
Okay, that's what I thought. The SEC is the Securities and Exchange Commission, and he was having some issues over some wrestling stuff. I think that he had done. Oh no, it's the sexual misconduct stuff. But he settled. He gave them millions of dollars, and now he's okay.
Because it's
giving
also
out
coming
Canadian
up.
top hats freely? Great.
Yeah.
That. My word.
Does the SEC? Okay, no, it is. It's over the money that he. I'm like trying to look at it really quick, dude. It's over the money that he gave to. He violated Security and Exchange Commission laws by paying hush money to Janelle Grant.
Oh,
and
my
he
word.
reached a settlement. Yeah.
Just so when it rains, it pours, right? Like, good Lord. You should,
Yeah.
if you don't know money talks, look at what's been going on.
Yeah, it's been
Right.
wet.
So
in
he
Connecticut
paid
for
the
years.
SEC off, and now he's okay with that.
Speaking about wrestling
Which,
news,
all they want is money anyway, so they're
Yep.
not really it's not legal stuff. It's more.
I hear that. Speaking of wrestling news, our two-time reigning defending commander-in-chief has said that in a massive heel turn, Justin Trudeau drops down as prime minister, and we are going to annex Puerto Rico and take in Canada as our 51st state. So Canada, welcome to America. We're also changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, apparently.
Does that make
Congratulations to the Canada becoming our largest state.
Mhm. Now we don't have to put that line next to Alaska.
Offer?
Right.
The whole country.
What's the
Oh,
counter
really?
offer?
Canada is offering to basically adopt blue states
Really?
that don't want to go along with the nonsense.
Like Minnesota?
I don't know if Minnesota's blue or red or purple. I have no idea.
Well, we were blue considering 95% of the state was red.
I'm in a blue state, but most of the town I'm in voted red this year. Like I think even most of the state might have voted red this year. But like generally, Massachusetts is usually a blue state.
Yeah.
Most of my life, at least.
Yeah, when I say the blue state, we usually.
I think if anything, America should become Canada, and we should adopt their laws, man.
Oh, dude,
Mhm.
they got a lot of them right.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not the freedom of speech part, but
I need my teeth worked on, brother.
Okay.
They still have freedom of speech over there. It's just in their charters, not in their amendments, and they don't have a Bill of Rights, same as we do. They just have Canadian charter laws.
I also don't want to have to learn French.
That's
only
Quebec
certain provinces. Yeah.
That's only certain parts where you have to.
Well, if Minnesota's absorbed, we would be part of that, I suppose.
Gotcha.
I don't know, man. I don't think they can force you into the French Canadian part. That's like torture.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Everyone will be talking like Rick Martel.
Speaking of calling each other brother,
Yes, sir.
WWE,
Brother.
WWE and
Oh, boy,
Hulk
brother.
Hogan signed multi-year deal to endorse Real American Beer, which I believe was the reason why he was out there with Jimmy Hart getting booed.
Put it back
a
in the
madman.
horse.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't drink beer anyway, so I don't really know how his hop water tastes.
I don't either, but I am not lowering myself to try anything that huckster is hawking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll mention this and then I'll get to those. I'll get to the Hulk Hogan part, but Corey Graves is permanently a part of the NXT commentary, joining Vic Joseph and everybody's favorite mouthpiece, the ad lib king, Booker T.
And confusing the hell out of Booker T in the process.
Always.
Yeah.
For anybody who watched that, the
Mhm.
amount of times that Vic had to say, "You were talking to Corey. I'm Vic." He literally called Corey Graves Vic 4 times, I think.
Because all you crackers look alike.
That's what he said. Hey, as he said that.
I know.
I mean, hey now.
I mean, Johnny and I do resemble each other. We got the beards and the
Very much so. Me
man
and
look
David
going
do
on.
also resemble each other in no way
In
possible.
no way at
Me
all.
and
Yeah,
Keith look like
Oh,
we're part of a similar militia.
yeah,
Ah.
indeed.
Oh
Go out
man.
the wall.
Okay, we
Hey, I got dreadlocks. All right, I got a little bit of spice. Don't
Oh
nice.
shit! Black Bart just died.
don't
I'm sorry?
Black Bart just died. Sorry about the curse word. Black Bart just died.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
no.
didn't that happen yesterday?
No, he got put in hospice yesterday.
Oh, damn.
But yeah, he just died.
Mm.
That
Rest in
sucks.
peace
Rest
to
in peace, Black
Black
Bart.
Bart.
Former
Following a battle in cancer.
former WCCW world champion.
Mm.
Supremely underrated. Searched for Stan Hansen and never found him.
He was the reference that Bray Wyatt used for his Bray Wyatt gimmick, I believe.
Makes sense. I mean, he looks like him. So
Yeah, exactly.
Black
So-
Bart. I thought he was always done after Waylon Mercy and Blackjack Mulligan.
Well, very much so, but I think visually, like his look.
And
Bray's look.
and
I mean, I could
Robert De
definitely
Niro. Robert De Niro and Cape Fear.
Cape Fear, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Too
But yeah, man. Black Bart, hugely underrated wrestler. And
My
like
uncle
I said,
my uncle liked Black Bart.
yeah, he was awesome. And he's part of the most in my opinion, like the worst, best abandoned storyline of all time.
Hmm.
If you guys remember that.
He also
Help me out,
trained
Roman.
JBL.
Oh, nice.
He
Nice.
helped train the wrestling god.
Oh, wow.
Indeed. Cool.
Man, Impact.
Man, I miss the
Rest in
APA.
peace. We all do. We're definitely not getting it back, but we all do.
Yeah, it's
Bang beer
Mhm.
and kick ass.
By the way, NXT has had a few hiccups, but one of their hiccups is that they do picture in picture during the biggest matches and entrances, and it was so stupid to see because
and if you're watching it on the CW app, you don't even get to see it.
mhm.
I
So-
watched it on the
That's good.
CW app. They don't
hoping
even show
for
it.
better from NXT this year, but they're 0 for 2 right now.
The last two shows have not been good. Not been as good,
Mhm.
I will say.
Yeah. I will mention back. Let's circle back and talk about probably the biggest story this week when it comes to wrestling is that we had the NXT Netflix, I mean not NXT, the WWE Raw Netflix debut. And I'd like to ask, how do we feel about in its entirety? How do we feel about the portrayal? And then we could talk about the specifics like Travis Scott and Hulk Hogan and all of that. But how do we feel? Keith, let me go to you because it is the round table, of course. And
I appreciate
how
it.
do you feel about how they started out the year?
I think that if their plan, oh wow, 19.6 million. I don't know if you guys, that's what Vince McMahon
Settlement?
gave the SEC. Yeah.
Oof, we-
Wow. We're
Pocket,
getting news as we're speaking. So sorry, guys.
pocket change for him.
about to say I made $150 last week.
He spends more on coffee in the morning. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
But, oh, that's right. He is a billionaire. I forgot.
He
Darn
was. He
Yeah.
hasn't been in quite a few
He's
years.
been giving money out, so he may not be a billionaire anymore. But
Shelling
anyway,
it out.
I feel like if the goal
I'll be back.
was to hook casual wrestling fans, that they did not do what they needed to do that. I think that, I mean, I don't know how deep you guys want me to go into this. Pablo hopped out and he was kind of moderating. All right, here he
If you
comes.
want.
but yeah, I'm gonna reiterate this so Pablo can hear it. I feel like if the goal was to hook casual wrestling fans, they failed. I think the only people that are sticking around for 3 hours of wrestling that only has 5 matches are people who really want to see wrestling.
People are already hooked.
Yeah, I think that if you're tuning into a wrestling show and all you hear about is how great that show is, and how monumental this thing is, and you're gonna get bored, So
Agreed.
that's my take on it.
Mm. I can't
David, you want to?
Well, are you muted?
All right. So I would say.
I was muted. Pardon me.
Yeah.
D-Lo, how do you feel?
It was just an alright show. It was like they just killed a lot of time with the promos. With like The Rock killed a long time with that promo. Cena, he killed a little time. It just they spaced things out way too far for the wrestling. I was like, like The Rock to 30. I was like, man, that's crazy. The intro just long. I was just like, everything just felt long. The match was good. Punk and Seth was great. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But I was disappointed that we were supposed to get the New Day and we were supposed to get Ray and a mystery part, and they was all chilling in the lounge. I'm like, what the heck going on? And then we got promised the last one, the same match. We didn't get with that. I was like, what's happening?
Nonsensical stuff.
It was like
I think they might have cut stuff. They said that they cut Dakota Kai and Valkyria to so they wouldn't get overshadowed. But I think that they cut stuff so they could get all this stupid talking in. I don't think it had anything to do with them getting overshadowed. They cut stuff that they had been announcing. They cut stuff that had been rumored. Everyone was there. They didn't utilize any of their talent, really. Anyway, I already talked, so my bad. But
yeah, he was just chilling. That ain't make sense to me. It was always in the crowd. I was like,
yeah.
The tribal comment stuff was decent. I felt one was going.
I thought that match was good. I thought that was probably the best match. But
it was really good.
It was weird. It was so weird.
It was just weird seeing Cody and first KO try to come in and try to like mess up everything. And I was like, he's trying to help Solo now, and then Cody come out and things was like, so you're trying to help Roman out now again? Or you want to KO that bad?
It was very
What do you think Cody was thinking when he was back there using the bathroom and all of a sudden his music hit?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go.
Yeah, because he was still in his suit. He totally could have just done that from ringside. He was way closer to the ring. The only reason that I can think of that he would have gone all the way to the back was either to get some catering or to take a crap.
We do not endorse taking craps here.
Yeah, well, you got to though. You got to.
If you gotta go,
sometimes you have to do it on TV and then ask people to retweet it.
Yeah. Saw Lamar Jackson leave a game because he had to go to the bathroom.
I saw
the funny waddle.
Paul Pierce get taken out of a wheelchair because he accidentally went to the bathroom a little bit.
Yeah, he had to go take a ish.
Yeah, sometimes you got to ish. Johnny, how do you feel about the presentation? How do you feel about the whole Netflix?
I gotta say, man, too much talk and not enough action. I know it's the cliche, it's what everybody's saying, but you're all right. It was not for the casual wrestling fan. It was for the fan that's already hooked, that's already been following the Bloodline storyline. And really, let's face it, it was a 3-hour episode about the Bloodline.
Was it 3 hours? Was it 3 hours?
It was 3 hours.
And purposes.
It went a little over 3 hours.
It was like a 3-hour episode
4 minutes
about the Bloodline with an occasional break to boo Hogan or cheer the Undertaker. Like,
as you should.
It was a weird show, but flip side, I feel like they made history. I feel like we had a real turning of the wheel moment when you have Hulk Hogan, who's been synonymous with pro wrestling for my entire life, come out and get booed mercilessly from the ground up. There was what, one, two, three people cheering for him in total. Like, dude, that I've never seen that many thumbs down in an arena without people throwing stuff.
Happiness.
And it really, it was baffling to me because, again, it's a real turning of the wheel. Because when Undertaker came out, the crowd lost their minds.
Yeah.
It's the Undertaker.
He's that
Oh
guy.
my God.
Right.
Like, he hasn't lost his shine. He hasn't lost his mystique. He hasn't gone out and busted out the N-word like it's candy on Halloween.
And he's from Texas.
And you know what else?
Right.
He hasn't lied. He hasn't held people down.
Mhm.
He hasn't shattered a union. I mean, granted, I'm sure he's not pro-union in wrestling, but who cares, really, at this point? Not many people probably are.
Right.
But the unfortunate thing is Hogan put himself exactly there because he just refused to be a real person for once. You know, I'm here to sell
Real
my
American.
beer and celebrate a partnership with, you know, WWE going forward. But no, he had to come out and brother this crap over and over and over again. And dude, I'll be honest with you, it was tired in the 80s. It was dead in the mid 90s when he was still trying to push it. And now it's almost insulting to people that just want to watch the rest of the show. And again, we missed out on a match or two because of all the extra fluff that they put in. Not just him, but all the talking that they put in. We lost out on a couple matches there. And it doesn't take like a Hollywood executive to recognize when people are being told to stretch out a segment or when people are being told, hurry the hell up, this isn't working. And I feel like the show was just an off-kilter, like, balancing act of those two factors. From beginning to end, it was either stretch this out, come on, this has to go another 5 minutes, or hurry the hell up, we're losing time here. And I feel like it was just, you know, chaos in the back, which leads to chaos in the front.
And Triple H actually spoke on that in the press conference. So you're right. He said that they were getting used to the way that Netflix did commercials and how time is allotted on Netflix. He said that in the press conference. So he didn't come right out and say, you know, we had to stretch some stuff, we had to shorten some stuff, but he did say enough that you can infer that.
I think it's kind of what I was expecting, though. When we were talking about this Netflix deal and what I was hoping it wouldn't be is like a lot of showman. Granted, it is the first one, right? So they want to garner attention to it. They want to preface the stuff. Like, obviously, we won't see the vignette that was in the big, or what do you call it? A visionette.
They're one of the biggest.
The vignette, yeah.
They're one of the biggest production companies outside of Hollywood and have been for the last 30 plus years. And you're telling me they couldn't hit the ground running with this one? They had to hit the ground stumbling.
Well, it seems like what they were wanting to do is that they wanted to gain like a fan base that they didn't know if they had yet. That's what kind of seemed like. There was a lot because all this fan service about like old stuff, right? So you bring in all these old names, you have these nonsensical things that like it's more for business, you know, like how The Rock had to come out on NXT and explain why he took a shot with Cody and all of that.
Like,
and it's really just
posturing with exposition, and it doesn't mix, like it doesn't work well.
Yeah. And if I could speak about the Hogan thing, right? The long-time hater of Hulk Hogan that I've been my entire life was giddy. Like, I was giddy as heck because I don't like Superman. I don't like Hulk Hogan. I don't like Goku in a lot of ways for the same reasons, because they're just the hero aspect is shoved down your throat, and it shows where we are as a society, shows where we are as a fan base, that they didn't take that crap laying down, considering that Hogan has been an absolute cancer, as what they say CM Punk is. No, Hulk Hogan really was that.
And on
Not
top
only
of that, he's just a cartoon of a human being.
not only that,
Can't
he
take him
believes
serious.
and he believes in reincarnation. And apparently, the worst thing you can become is a black guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Lord knows that's his words. And I don't. I think Hulk Hogan is a somebody who does not belong in wrestling anymore. He didn't belong there back then. He doesn't belong now.
Yeah.
Granted, he was a better wrestler in New Japan. A few times he did it, but at the same
Really
time, the American wrestling scene is much stronger, and I don't feel as if he needs to be. He seemed upset.
He better be upset.
Yeah.
I imagine he should be.
Look
Jimmy
how
Hart
mad the
took
fans were at
took
I
an
Jimmy
feel
L.
bad for
Pussy
Jimmy
upset.
Hart, mainly.
I felt bad for Jimmy Hart as well.
Right, he had to
Yeah.
be there, sit through all that. Like, nah. He had
I feel
was
like if-
slide to the back, Jimmy. Slide to the back, Jimmy. Go back.
Yeah.
Don't
Take
should-
off the
yeah.
shirt,
associate
Jimmy.
with this
Show
man.
the NWO shirt. Come on.
Right.
Just heel
I'd
turn on Hulk.
rather see that. I'd rather
But
pop with that.
Imagine if Jimmy wasn't out there, how loud the boos would have been.
Imagine if Jimmy just, called an audible and
Mhm.
started attacking Hogan with the flag.
That would have been amazing.
That would have been the
Yo,
best
you
thing
the
on
biggest
earth.
face.
Yeah, just
Greatest
get
thing on
him,
earth.
beat him up.
Pull the Snoop Dogg.
Jimmy Hart would have had a
Speaking
5-year
of
deal like that.
speaking of pulling a Snoop Dogg, we had famous,
Scott.
Oh man.
Grammy nominated for this year for Utopia, which I really liked. I really liked Utopia. But Travis Scott was out here smoking reefer.
That was for
He
the
must be
modern
watching our
audience.
podcast.
That was to hook the new audience, in my opinion. That was to,
Of course.
if it was even planned. It might not have been planned. He might have.
They're
just
acting like
did
it wasn't planned. They're
Well,
acting
possibly
like he
not.
just rolled out with it. But
Come on, man, give me a break. Like,
Is there
there's
going
only-
to be
I know.
is there going to be repercussions for this? Because we don't know how Netflix feels about stuff like that. It's obvious it's not a PG.
Be all right.
Was it like TV 14? Because they allow the crowd to say
The
"F you"
curse.
solo
yeah,
Right.
audibly.
but they don't allow The Rock to say
drop a couple F-bombs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he said start the effing show. I was
effing
like,
show. Yeah,
wow, okay,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
But that's
yeah.
I do like
and
the
he
fact that
cursed
they're
like
not.
a freaking sailor on NXT, dude. The amount of beats.
It
Yeah,
was off a beat.
What The Rock is trying to do, but man,
I
that was
don't.
crazy.
He was drunk, yo. And then-
Well, it was also it's also legal. Sub Dougie. It's
Mhm.
also legal out there, so it's not like he was
Right,
wrong.
right,
But
right.
it does show as like, hey, well,
Yeah,
maybe
he
that means there is a lot of talk about smoking marijuana
Yeah.
on TV as is. We also did get a weird situation where Bronson Reed is doing the CM Punk where he's keeping himself relevant by being on X.
Yeah.
And he's been sending some very funny tweets.
Does he want to beat up Ric Flair?
Nothing wrong with that. Hopefully,
No, he wanted to
crush
so
him.
his quote, he had a few very AEO moments on there.
Yeah.
A lot of sus activity in his words, but Bronson Reed said his recent one, and we do like this because it's new age wrestling, and you can further your push just by being online saying the
Right.
most off the cuff, out of left field stuff. So Bronson said, due to injury, you guys missed out on me making Seth and Punk both call me daddy.
Nah.
Ayo.
That's crazy.
And then he said, then rip a fat bong and give Hulk Hogan 12 tsunamis.
Nice.
Why did he have to
I
be
would-
injured?
I know exactly. I would
You know
have
how bad
loved
I want to see that.
Why
I would have loved Hulk Hogan to take
Oh my God.
12 tsunamis
Dude, just, yeah.
and then 12 finishing moves by Bronson Reed.
He will get invited to the cookout. He will definitely get. He can and get a to-go plate for that.
Send
definitely
the
a to-go
fire. Send the wildfire to Terry Bollea's house.
Which one? He was born in Canada.
Oh man, exactly.
Fun fact: the real
Wherever it
American
is.
hero, born in Canada.
Oh wow!
Somebody's got a
And
Christmas bonus.
apparently Vince has to pay the
New Year's
WWE $1.3 million for
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's got a New Year's bonus.
A day.
They got, yeah.
He paid Janelle like $3 to $5 million a year.
Yeah.
Like, and all he has to do is pay.
Well,
that's
he's
wild.
giving the SEC commission, 19. So they're getting most of the money.
Yeah, but now he's paying out money and he doesn't get to poop on anyone.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
He gonna get his
Sometimes.
fixer. Yeah.
I need to get a freaking
Expensive
selfie stick stand
poops.
or something. I do want to say something that I think a lot of people aren't taking into consideration, going back to the Netflix thing.
Yeah.
I think The Rock is done.
Really?
I think because people are like, oh, he's getting rid of the final boss character, blah, 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 blah. I
Mhm.
think this is a farewell tour.
It's because
Well,
of the
him-
beard.
I think
I
that's
can-
what
I
they
can-
want
As
you
far
to
as,
think,
like,
because I think
he's not,
gonna
he's
screw
never
over
going to
Cena
go
at
away
the Rumble.
forever. He's never going to go away forever, but I think he's about to not be around for a while.
I think he's gonna screw Cena at the Rumble.
I mean, he could, but I could be
think so as
completely
well.
off on this. But I think that,
Rudy Pebbles and
he
whatnot.
went down, he talked to the kids, he freaking, he gave the falafel to
Oh, they're switching him to babyface
full
again.
Roman. See, I don't think they're switching him to anything. I think he's just leaving.
I
Yeah.
don't. He's like he's literally like a chairman of the board now.
He's
isn't he?
too ingrained into it.
Yeah, he too far.
Unless you
He
mean
basically-
story
when
wise.
Triple H
I just mean
and
not on
TKO
TV. I
all-
don't mean like he's leaving the
Okay,
company.
so you mean story wise?
I mean like he's going to be
Story-wise.
gone for a while. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I think he's back for the big show, and that's about it. I think you're right there. I think he's back for the big Netflix show, and he's gonna disappear. But I think he'll be in and out. I don't think he's gonna be off TV for any lengthy amount of time. I mean, again, his
I feel
daughter's-
like that's the only way that this whole thing really makes sense.
I mean,
is
his daughter's
if he's-
holding it down in NXT, and he's
Oh, they got to have their little moment where
And
she
he-
looked like she
well-
was going to pee her pants.
he's on the board too, though, behind the scenes.
Right.
So
Right.
it's I don't think he's necessarily going anywhere. I think he's playing it smart so as he's not taking all the focus off of the younger talent. Because nobody wants to
Right.
walk into that Hulk Hogan spot.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody. I guarantee Undertaker had to be convinced to go out there on that Netflix thing initially, especially with Hogan coming out. He probably was worried the same thing was going to happen to him, that he was going to take focus and people were going to get sick of it. But again,
Well,
he
Taker
hasn't
at
lost any of his shine.
Yeah, and Taker at least just drove out there,
And
did
gave
the thing, and
Rhea
rolled
pound.
out. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Right.
Judgment Day is
up
kind of the
Hawkins
spiritual children of Undertaker, so it makes sense,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Agreed.
but
Yeah.
but it could have gone
Nice.
badly,
That's for sure.
I'll be honest with
yeah.
you. You know what that moment made me miss? You know what that moment made me realize was absolutely missing is, and you can still feel it. It's still palpable. Bray Wyatt.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Bray
Yeah.
Wyatt was the successor to the Undertaker, in my opinion. And
Well,
what I mean?
he did whisper,
Oh,
It's yo.
and that's the thing that they'll take it to the
Oh, yeah.
grave. Well, Undertaker will take it to the grave.
to be a flea in one of their beards. Oh,
My word.
Speaking of Bray Wyatt, just something that we touched on in the news.
hmm
So, according to I think it was Dave Meltzer,
Mm-hmm.
JoJo is going to continue on with AEW,
Okay.
and there were people who were actually like, after all the WWE did for her after Bray Wyatt died, like she's not loyal.
Come on, yo. That's weird,
Dude,
man.
first of
Stop.
all, like
That's a
that
job.
girl's been through so much.
Mhm.
that kind
do
of
it.
She lost her
tribalism
husband.
makes my
She
head
lost the mother of her children. Like,
The father.
and
Father.
father of her children. Like, how painful do you think it is for her to be,
in the wrestling
involved in
business
wrestling at
itself.
all,
Yeah.
let alone in the WWE?
I mean, yeah, it's. I can't even imagine how someone like her or someone like Eric Redbeard goes to work.
Right. Yeah.
Doesn't lose their mind on a regular basis.
Well, a lot of the a lot of the ways to get over something is to start a new venture, and
Get back on the
I
horse.
wish her the best,
Yeah.
what she was doing before
She
being
was
with
good.
Bray, and she was part of Total Divas and all of that, and So it's not like she was just a background character. And
Yeah,
No, not at all.
I just feel like sometimes fans, not just wrestling fans, obviously, but sometimes fans can be gross.
she was definitely the first Samantha Irving.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
was good. I
yeah.
liked her the first time. Hell yeah.
She could sing
know,
very
keep
well
touching
and all
on
that.
that,
That's
man.
it.
You're not wrong. I noticed it first in music, but
Mhm.
it's obvious in sports. And I'm from Boston, so I've already got more ammunition than I know what to do with when it comes to like New York. But I don't buy into any of that because I don't really follow sports. You know what I mean? But I know people that will deck you if you talk trash about the Patriots in
Oh,
the
yeah.
offseason.
Patriots?
Like,
Mhm.
dude,
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
dude.
Well,
People
dude.
still think Brady and Belichick are running things. Like,
Yeah, Nikki Glazer better never go to Boston.
people are
Mhm.
still living in like 2005 around
That's
there.
crazy.
Man.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
shout out to the Yankees, of course.
Shout out to the Orioles.
Shout out to the Yankees, all snapping their ankles. Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Shout out to
go
Daryl
get money.
Strawberry and Hubie Brooks.
Shout out. Oh,
The
why?
last
Why are
time I
we?
watched baseball was when they played for the Mets.
Are you
So that's why,
serious?
and
That's
I was a Mets
absurd.
fan for a
Shout
very
out to
brief time when I was a kid.
former St. Paul Saints Daryl Strawberry. Shout out.
I know.
In Minnesota, the Minnesota Baseball Hall of Fame is inside a CHS field in St. Paul, and
Remember when
one of his jerseys is hanging up as he's one of the players that used to be there. Bill Murray also is a co-owner, or he's a part owner of St. Paul Saints. So
Bill
so
Murray
shout out.
owns
remember
the
when Daryl Strawberry
baseball
got caught
stadium.
smoking crack?
Yeah, he does.
Bill Murray owns the baseball stadium in my hometown.
As well. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big baseball guy. I know that.
He wore a St. Paul Saints hat during Space Jam.
You'll sometimes see him literally on any given night in Brockton, Massachusetts. If there's a baseball game going on at that stadium, any given night, you'll just see him sitting up there in the cheap seats eating a hot dog.
Awesome.
Cool. Just cool.
Best part of Caddyshack.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine painted his house and ended up smoking a joint with him.
What?
Literally,
Allegedly.
he was painting the house for 6 hours and had no idea who lived there.
I think the best part of Caddyshack is I'm All Right.
With a joint.
Really? Okay.
That's a great freaking song.
That's a good one. I would say, going back to what we were speaking about in John Cena, I think it was a pretty big thing, him coming out and addressing the fans. Obviously, you want to see new talent, and it was weird considering it took a long time to get from match to match. But prefacing stuff for the next episodes, well, I imagine we'll get way less talking.
Smoother.
Next
It'll
ones,
smooth the transition for sure.
Dude, what do you think it's going to be like when we get a 40-minute episode?
Never. But how do we feel about what John Cena said, though? Because being that is a chance he might break Flair's record, is there any credit? Like, do you, as the New Englander, Johnny Boston, how do you feel about what John Cena, his presence at NFL? What does it mean? What does it mean going forward? Obviously, it's his retirement season.
John Cena has been, for the last 20 years, everything that Hulk Hogan should have. He's made all the wishes. He's treated the fans and the business with the utmost of respect. And you know what? For what it's worth, he might be known as, six move Cena or whatever you want to call him. He wasn't built to out wrestle every technical athlete on the planet. He was built for a career that he could not only have for as long as he wanted, but safely walk away from when it was all said and done. And I got to tell you, I hope he beats Flair's record. And then I hope he loses the belt and wins it back again the same night just to piss him off.
That's some old Cena stuff right there.
So, I mean, I'm all Cena all the way. I honestly, I stand by my statement from prior weeks. I hope Cena loses the Rumble. And I hope he somehow ends up in the Money in the Bank and then cashes it in at WrestleMania. And then I hope the following night we get heel Cena for the rest of his run. And I hope it lasts longer than a year.
That is a hot take.
Yeah,
opposite of a cold take.
And I mean, I don't expect any of that to happen. None of it.
How do you
I'm rarely right with my predictions, but man, if there's ever one I should, want to be right on, it's
Interesting.
this one.
It's an interesting one. D'Lo, how do you feel about John Cena?
I'm not ready for it. 'Cause even in
Don't you?
even my childhood, really, basically, like kind of like synonymous, basically. So it's like it's so weird that he's gonna retire like this, but at least we're gonna get one last good year out of him, and he's gonna start the Rumble. And
Yeah.
he's one of my favorites. I ain't gonna lie, he's one of my top three. He's in my top three so far, my favorites. But I don't see him winning unless he gets screwed by somebody, and I'm playing that somebody's gonna screw him, and he's gonna have that match at WrestleMania. Whether it be The Rock or some new guy. That's what I think. 102.
We might get a guest appearance from one of the other round
Brett got off
tablers.
work early.
Well, we'll see when he comes on. We'll cross that bridge when he gets there.
How do you? I didn't even think of. Who could come out and conceivably screw Cena, and it would make sense.
Ooh.
Kurt Angle.
No, he won't. I could see it because it started with him. Everything
Ruthless
started
aggression era.
ruthless aggression. Yeah,
That's the real one I won, but I don't know.
Let me get your take on this, Keith. How do you feel about how this leads up for what John Cena is going to be doing this year?
Sure. So I do want to talk for a second about what Johnny Boston said comparing Cena to Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
The big difference is Hogan grew up wanting to be a football player and a rock star, and John Cena grew up wanting to be a pro wrestler. His dad is a pro wrestling promoter in New England who had run one of the longest running independent companies.
Yep.
In New England. So it's Chaotic, right? Doesn't he run Chaotic? I'm not going to say that just in case I'm wrong, but he runs a very.
I don't recall which one he runs, but
I can look it up.
There were over the last 20-something years, there were at least 5 different companies in the state with Chaotic in their name.
Gotcha.
And I mean, I worked for Chaotic Championship Wrestling, and that was like a 4-person, run little tiny group. Sure. I mean, and that was Jesus. That was like 97. So I know they're not still around. But again, in the local scene, it's hard to nail down which Chaotic company is which.
Sure. But anyway, regardless, I think that the reason that John Cena did it correctly is because John Cena grew up with a respect for professional wrestling or respect for professional wrestling fans, and it shows.
He was a former ring announcer. He was a former ring announcer for Chaotic Wrestling. They said.
Okay.
I mean, respect for.
But he also promoted a company, or he also promoted his own company too. So
yeah.
Okay, so I knew he was connected with Chaotic somehow, but anyway, and that's going, like Johnny Boston said, all the way back to the 90s. John Cena has been involved in the wrestling business pretty much since his birth, because that's how it works.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between him and Hulk Hogan. And that's why I worry about, as much as I love Tiffany, as much as I love Kalani Jordan, as much as I love Trick Williams, as much as I love Jasmine Nix, that is why I worry about those people. Because they didn't grow up with the business in their blood, and
right.
There's always a chance that it could go off the rails when you're dealing with people like that. But to speak on what John Cena did, it was probably the best talking segment of the night, which isn't a surprise. It still went for too long, but I feel like he's not going to win the Rumble, but I feel like he gave us kind of a preview of what he's going to do. The fact that he named all the different things that he could do, he could win Money in the Bank, he could win Elimination Chamber. I feel like that means he's going to be a part of all of those. I think he was kind of checking off his list. This is the stuff I'm going to do. I hope that he survives Elimination Chamber and Money in the Bank, because those matches are brutal.
Imagine if he wins all of the above.
Once he wins one, he doesn't have to do the other ones.
He wins the Rumble. He wins the Elimination Chamber. He wins Money in the Bank and walks into WrestleMania just strapped with opportunity.
He can get 3 different title shots.
So even if he loses, he just gets up and throws the briefcase at the referee. Nah, do it again.
That'd be insane, dude.
as nice as that would be, I would love, just because Johnny Boston mentioned that, that's something that I feel like we're missing from the Money in the Bank, the actual like a number one contender having it and then losing and then being like, you know what, retry. I think that would be a really cool thing. But
that would be cool. Yeah.
as far as the Cena thing, he already spoke about like a year ago when he teased the fact that it would be his last year, that he would be at the Elimination Chamber. So he's, you know, we see that that's going to happen. I think that Royal Rumble is a perfect place for him to get screwed by either Randy or The Rock. You know, I would say Punk, but Punk got so much more going on. He could screw with Seth. He could screw with Drew.
Too much face momentum.
Yeah. I want him to get his. I want him to get his lick back, as in like he was supposed to win last year and he didn't because of the injury. One thing I am afraid of is that we've taken for granted how healthy Cena has been in his career. It doesn't necessarily mean he will. And when you said the Elimination Chamber, how dangerous it is, and the fact that we had a very big War Games match where we had 4 people injured.
Yeah.
Bad injuries, you know, like Lord knows. Yes, John Cena's always been the safest, you know, because he wants to give himself longevity. He didn't want to be Stone Cold that has like spinal fusion surgery or like all these different people that were older and you know had done all of these risky things, and he's not much of a risk taker in the ring.
Right.
But there's a lot that he can do. I think it's cool. I think it's cool that he's, you know, he had this segment and that he's giving some, you know, giving people stuff to look forward to as far as like his year. And it is, but it does seem like a trap. And I think it starts at the Royal Rumble. I think
it all just looks like a salmon colored suit jacket to me.
And
Cena's
remember who Mark Henry attacked during that one too.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
Cena's biggest injury was the top rope power bomb, right?
Oh yeah. Broke
the Batista bomb. Yeah, Batista gave him a Batista bomb off the top rope, and it like separated his shoulder.
And then walked in on
did he break his neck?
Yeah, he broke his neck. He literally all he had was a teeny tiny little scar right here from having neck surgery. And he got his neck broke on Monday and then walked in on Thursday Night SmackDown. I was like, "What's up, guys?"
Well, it would have been a Sunday because it happened at SummerSlam.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, all right. Yeah. So he broke it on a Sunday and walked in on a Thursday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he walked in less than a week
like
later.
Solomon
What's up, guys? I'm like, don't you have a broken neck? He's like, no, I got it fixed.
I got it fixed. That's so wild.
It's just a flesh wound.
Yeah, one thing that I think you can also take away from that is the fact that WWE fans not only don't like Logan Paul, but they don't care about Logan Paul.
Oh, yeah.
When he was listing possible opponents and he said Logan Paul, there wasn't just booze, there was silence.
That's because I started
the indifference of it.
Delete him.
The idea that people were just like, you and Logan Paul, you know what I mean?
You know that would be a Hogan versus Shawn Michaels thing where Logan Paul, like, he sells over the top everything.
Yeah.
And like makes John Cena look bad. Yeah. Because Logan Paul represents a part of wrestling that we're getting towards, which is something that the old heads would probably not really appreciate.
Right.
And I don't want to see John Cena against. Granted, I do want to see John Cena against somebody that can make him look good because, you know, the reason why he had the 5 moves of doom is because he's not really that great of a choreographer as far as like calling the matches and all of that.
Put him in there with Damian Priest.
That would be nice.
Right. There's such a thin line between like Kurt Hennig and Dolph Ziggler and what Shawn Michaels did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like taking ridiculous punches or taking ridiculous bumps off punches and stuff like that.
Kurt Hennig getting punched on one side and bumping over the top rope as if he got hit from the other side, dude.
It's amazing.
Will ever beat that.
It was amazing.
Will ever beat that.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like Kurt Hennig was one of the first guys to do the launch into the top turnbuckle. And or the ring post over the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
The slingshot. He was one of the first guys to do it because he was one of the only guys who could get that momentum, and it became part of his his like regular routine, like to get that spot, like because he could make guys look so strong, just because he could launch
Damn it,
himself.
Steph.
Super athlete, man.
Unreal. Once in a lifetime athlete for sure.
Yeah.
He choked out Brock Lesnar at 30,000 feet.
Yeah, he did.
That's the only time you'll ever see Brock tap,
Mhm.
because he never wants to ever look bad.
No.
Yeah.
Can't have the
Like,
golden
oh,
boy.
Unless he's
Only
getting a
legally.
freaking kidney kick from Alistair Overeem. He
Ooh,
looked pretty rough in that.
we're facing Cain Velasquez.
Woo!
I remember watching him fight Cain
We're fighting
Velasquez
without PEDs.
in Alexandria, and people looking over and being like, "Is that Brock? Wasn't he just at the PTA meeting a few weeks ago?"
right.
Amazing.
Cain Velasquez was a killer when he was champ. Man,
He looked horrible in WWE though, and I'm glad they
Yeah,
got
he
rid of him.
did. I don't know
You know.
what he was thinking, man.
Well, the reason why
all-burger
he-
diet is not what you want to go on
Mhm.
before WWE.
He just had a bad. He just had a bad look for WWE.
Yeah,
He
dude,
just looked
straight
really
went into
scrawny.
the Bastion Bugger lifestyle for like 2 months before he was on TV.
He just doesn't have an appealing. He doesn't have an appealing body type, but it's just the kind
Right.
of body type.
Oh
he
my
has.
god, dude! I have like the ugliest body type in the world, dude, and I would not just walk out on stage with my shirt off like I'm tough. Like I don't know what they would think at Stay. Just bring out
That's
Stay
funny.
Puffed. That's more intimidating.
That?
Oh,
Yeah, he was
Lord.
the least intimidating guy I've ever seen.
He looked
Whatever.
no offense to wife beaters, but he looked like a wife beater. Like he didn't even look like
Oh,
a
Lord.
fighter. He
He
looked like
said
a
no offense to what
You-
that's
You know what I mean? Like he did not look
nasty
like
word.
a proper
Things you
fighter. He
do.
looked like he just fell out of a bar.
Well,
That's
the
how I
thing
like
about,
my fighters. Falling stumbling
that's
out
the
of
thing
bars.
about fighting, though. Not to get on a big tangent, but Tim White, wasn't that his name? Who's the
Tim
guy who got his
Sylvia?
arm? No, the guy who got his arm broken by Frank Mir.
Tim Sylvia.
So
Tim Sylvia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim Sylvia did, and Roy Big Country Nelson. Neither one of those guys looked like they were beating up anybody, other than
No,
their size.
Roy Nelson.
Tim Sylvia wasn't
Yeah,
beating up
that's
anybody.
true.
He was winning like the most Mickey. That's why he lost to Randy Couture at the tender
Roy
age of
Nelson just
43.
sat on people though.
Yeah.
He couldn't.
Oh no
fight.
no. Wait,
Dude, Roy
wait,
Nelson was a
wait, wait,
jiu-jitsu
wait, no.
beast.
He couldn't fight.
Roy
And,
Nelson.
lay
oh,
on
come
you until
on.
he
And his
couldn't breathe.
hands, dude.
Roy Nelson was a good fighter. He was
Yeah,
a
and
good
for a
fighter.
stand-up guy, for an MMA stand-up guy, he had hands, man. Roy Nelson was good.
He did have the gut of death, and that is one of those. If you're built like him and you know how to swing
So
your
did
body,
Butterbean.
I'll give him that. His punches were
Yeah.
on point. But for the most part, dude, he laid on dudes' heads until they couldn't breathe.
But if that's the case, if that's what you got, then do it.
I get it. I get it. It's just it looks weird when the weight
It's
class is
jiu-jitsu, man.
a heavy set dude and a skinny muscular dude, and
Well,
the
which
fat
is-
dude's just like, I'm gonna sit on your head. Blarp.
Well,
Like,
which is
it's-
weirder, like Bubble Boy Sean Shirk roided up facing somebody at 150 that looks like he woke up 135.
Right.
Like Frank Mir let himself go as well. It's like it's just
I just
fighters,
discovered team MMA fights and car jitsu. All right.
Oh, like
So
IFL?
I'm
IFL
on
is so fun.
I'm
Have
on
you
a
watched
wildness.
Huh?
IFL, the International Fighting League, where they were
Dude.
teams?
Brazil versus America?
Yeah, so fun, dude.
The
IFL was
most
a good time.
ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Just 5-on-5. Let's kill each other.
No, no, thank you. No, thank you.
But
Oh, like they're
War
all
games.
5 fighting at the same time?
yeah,
Yeah, no, it's 5v5.
yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
so
it's 5v5.
Yeah, like
So like it's
War
Cobra
games.
Kai in real life.
you could gang
There's
up
as
on
many-
people and all
there's
that.
many referees in there.
Oh,
as
that's
there are fighters.
insane.
Yeah,
And then the
it's
car jutsu he was talking about, where you
Oh.
you guys literally start strapped up into his car, one in the passenger seat, one in the driver's seat, and then you guys fight.
Weird.
Yeah,
As
you-
in, like,
you have
if
to-
it
you
was like a
start
real life
buckled
sex.
in.
Yeah, you just
Oh my-
buckled in. You have to unbuckle, or you use the buckle, or
You
use
can use everything in the car to your advantage.
it's
That's
functional
crazy.
fighting. It's realistic
Yeah.
fighting, but it's
Yeah,
so
it's-
silly.
It's way better than phone booth boxing. I'll tell you that.
Man, one thing that I do want to say about physiques in MMA, it's insane that Josh Barnett got busted for steroids so many times and never had abs.
Yeah.
Never had abs.
It's a shame that Brock Lesnar got busted for PEDs so many times and never had to return the purse.
Hey now.
Give me that purse.
Give anyone that
Would
purse. Give the purse to fucking fat handicap kid. I don't
The guy
care.
who you beat.
Yeah.
Give the purse to the guy you beat.
Fat Hendo.
Well, that was
That's what should
my
happen.
initial thought. Yeah,
That's what should happen.
Was it Hunt that he had all the PED failed testings like immediately afterwards?
Mark Hunt, maybe. I thought Mark Hunt was a great fighter, but
I
Mark
thought he was
Hunt
gonna
was who
kill him.
Brock beat.
I was
Brock
wrong.
beat him, and then he got
PD.
busted for the PED.
Yeah,
makes
that's
sense.
what I'm saying. It was like but
Because
it was
Mark
the
Hunt's a
test
better
he
fighter
put
than
on
Brock
fight
Lesnar.
day.
Like,
Oh, for sure.
honestly,
Hey, well, I would like to speak about New Year's Evil. We've actually been flying through this episode.
Yeah.
And I think we should talk about New Year's Evil and then talk about where we think these new champions are going. And then we'll mention the indie spotlight, and then we can get on to our regular lives. And I also need to find a morning job for the next 2 months.
Are we gonna talk about movies?
I would like to, but I feel like we would make that run a bit far, and I would like to I'd like to, if possible, I can't. Oh, I probably wasn't supposed to hear that from Johnny B. Okay, I got you.
I didn't even. What is
I'm
going
just
on?
pretending I'm helping produce Raw. I'm telling him,
He's like, imagine Vince is in my ear right now. Talk about boobies.
Talk about boobies.
Vince puppies. How Michael Cole could have even done his job with Vince yelling in his ear the entire time is beyond me.
He was yelling some fucked up shit.
It's so he was absolutely he was probably out of pocket the entire time.
Oh,
Like,
he was telling Michael, "Oh my, I just busted
this
out
segment's
a
too
bunch of
long."
But
Hey,
he was
all
not
good, man.
saying the most PG of stuff. Sorry.
At least you could tell it was natural. We'll just have to.
One of the
We're
only
on a
things
delay.
that natural back then.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't much of the wrestlers.
Oh,
dude, Lita literally got a boob
imagine.
job. Lita got a boob job before her interview with the WWE because she knew that was the only way they were going to take her.
Yeah, sad but true.
She was like, nobody made me. She was like, I got him because I wanted to. I knew that's what they wanted.
She was always talented in the ring. Even in ECW, she didn't do much in the ring, and she still...
All she did was moonsaults. I thought her moonsault looked like crap, to be honest. I think she has
I thought it
one of the
looked
worst
very
moonsaults.
It always looked like she was going to fall on her
effortless,
forehead.
But it wasn't.
Yeah, and her punches were terrible.
Smooth.
Oh, yeah. Very much
like
so.
Like she never landed it right, but it looked like very natural to her. It looked as natural
It looked
as
flopping. It looked like flopping to me. Like, instead of a
That's
graceful...
It didn't
you know
have
what I mean?
any game.
I feel like her and
she could do.
She missed out on a big payday with not endorsing thongs, because she was the reason why most kids knew what thongs were before Cisco.
If Tiffany has the PME, then
Tiffany.
Yeah, that was an accident.
The return of Tiffany.
I don't know what that was, dude. I think that was just
Tiffany
like a
Trenton.
Look at that. Freud was right.
Yeah. If Tiffany has the prettiest moonsault ever, then Lita has the ugliest.
Lita has the ugliest moonsault? Okay.
Yeah.
Dude,
Lita has the
moonsault where Lita hit the friggin' table.
Oh my!
Honestly, the ugliest moonsault ever was when
the Scorpion. Yeah, the Scorpion when she broke her neck.
Yeah, when Kurt tried to do a moonsault after wrestling for 40 freaking minutes
off the top
against Brock Lesnar. Yeah, that was bad business, dude. Yeah.
Hey, Kirk Angle couldn't feel a thing back then.
What was the Gumby
bump? He won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck.
Plancha.
What is?
The Gumby bump in ECW. Does anybody remember that one?
No, I don't remember that one.
I think it was Rob Van Dam, but I can't remember if he did a moonsault or like an over-the-top plancha. But when he hit the dude, he hit the dude and like his back bent over the guardrail in the most unnatural like manner you've ever seen, and it's just historically.
I believe it was a
plancha. Gumby bump.
Yeah,
I believe it was a plancha. That just.
Do you remember the Samoan Dynasty beating up the gangsters and
this is why we can't go over movies.
Putting their heads under a freaking car tire and like threatening to run it over.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Dude.
I remember New Jack invoking the name of O.J. Simpson as if he was giving
I do remember
a sermon.
I
Like,
do remember that. That was funny.
Bro.
He's like, I'd
2
like
down,
to
Oh,
shout,
5 more to go. Good
OJ,
job.
you're doing the thing. Keep
doing
doing
the
the
Good work.
Oh, that
What
was in his
we got
more
to
to go.
worry about.
well, Dark Side of the Ring, they talked about that and him beating up
Yo,
the
that was
16-year-old to the point of
Oh, the Mass
Oh,
Transit.
Tra-
See,
Mass
I was supposed to
Transit.
be at that show.
Ooh,
I was
that was
supposed
terrible.
to be
Poor
at that
Mass
show, and
Transit.
let me tell you something. What's even worse, I wanted to go to that show with the exact same intentions in mind.
mhm.
So
Except
stab Mass Transit?
I wasn't trained, and I wasn't gonna tell them I was trained.
Oh,
I was
you were
gonna
going to
tell
be
them.
Mass
I was
Transit.
gonna tell them everything else. So I'm a fat piece of shit. Just beat me up and get me out of there, and fucking I'll
That's
work.
hilarious.
Like,
I don't think Mass
literally.
Transit was trained either, to be fair.
No, he wasn't, but he showed up
Yeah.
with his dad vouching for him. Like saying that he was 18, saying that he had trained at Killer Kowalski's for a couple of years, or a couple of months at least.
So bad.
So also he had tapes with him.
Goes to
stuff,
show
and
you.
It turns out the tapes were just him like cutting promos in his room.
Yeah, goes
Like,
to show
it
you
wasn't
you
actually
can't
him
fake
wrestling.
you can't fake your resume when you're getting in there with New Jack.
Dude,
Yeah, man.
Hell
no.
no.
You're not selling kids. Get you
And
some razor
to
blade
this-
across
to
the
this
face.
day,
Also,
I love Devon Dudley. He's just like, oh, this isn't gonna be good. Hey, yo, throw me out.
yeah,
I'm out.
Beat me up on the
I love
outside,
it.
Mustafa. I don't want none of this.
Yeah.
yeah. So I will mention we did have a halfway PLE, which I almost forgot because when NXT does their matches, their CW PLEs or whatever, it doesn't really feel like, it doesn't give the feel of a big match, but it was huge this.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned about the whole title changes and starting the new year right, NXT seemed to have wiped the slate clean with theirs as well.
It feels like without Vince there being that almost like the spoiler of everything good that came out of NXT for so long.
Yeah.
It feels like whenever NXT built up something great, it would get promoted. They'd get promoted to Monday Night Raw and they'd start jobbing immediately. It feels like without that threat there, that NXT is legitimately becoming its own brand.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And I
They're
mean
about to
that
get
with the
a
utmost
development.
respect. I hated NXT at its inception because it took the place of ECW. Of course, I'm going to be a little bit nervous.
And it was gimmicky, and it was
the
very
first couple
silly.
seasons were just tough enough rehashed.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But
then when the black and gold, they actually put together
like its own thing and they started doing show. Man, they picked up steam, and then Vince did everything he could to crush it. And I feel like without that imminent threat, I feel like they really are just gonna keep flourishing and doing well. And I mean, for what it's worth, that's good for everyone.
They hit a big strat, you know, and being that I've always pushed for NXT to be, you know, seen as its own entity because of how good it was, you know, from the moment where Kevin Owens came and power bombed Sammy to oblivion and won the championship, and like all the way through Andrade's runs, the Aleister Blacks and all of them, like they've done well. But now
Shield,
let's see what they're going to do. Let's see what they're going to do with this.
Tommy End is really gone?
I think so.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be in creative hell over there. Yeah. We're not going to mention anything about an AEW because we don't got time for that nonsense. Maybe we'll talk about it next week.
The last two Dynamites have been good.
Yeah,
just gonna put this out there.
The last two Dynamites were good.
Keep kicking ass.
Collision was but the last two Dynamites have been good, man.
Mm-hmm. It's speaking of Keith's gimmick, how many did you get wrong this week?
Oh Lord, I think I got the whole show wrong.
That's his gimmick. Staying true.
I don't think I got a single match right, dude.
I didn't get many right as well because NXT's writers have taken a break apparently.
Yeah. This was a weird. I did not enjoy this show as much as I usually do. The last two shows. Well, they did. Their head writer did get fired or left, so they're in limbo right now. I'm not sure who's writing the shows.
Yeah, but they're never going to be
last month
at a lack of people to take that place. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? There's always going to be.
I mean, he was doing a great job.
Oh,
I'd
agreed.
love to be a writer.
Yeah. So I think he got fired or left, whichever, at the beginning of or the middle of December. So I mean, it would make sense now that there's been a total shift. You know, I mean, things are definitely. I don't know who's in control right now, but I don't enjoy it as much as I have. And that's funny because I didn't even think about that. That could be the reason why. Like, there's someone else in charge now.
It's still kind of it's a low key, you know, obviously I'm joking when I say it, but it still kind of cracks me up that in the long run, ECW won the Monday Night War.
Yeah, they did.
Bischoff and McMahon aren't working anymore, and Heyman is.
Yeah, Heyman's the one getting the WWE money right now.
Right. Heyman was getting WWE money back then.
So
he was getting paid. He's been getting paid by the WWE for a long time.
Yeah. Even when ECW was going strong, he was beginning to collect the checks.
Yep.
So let me mention the New Year's Evil.
Yeah.
Let's mention the results and then how we feel about them, and then where we think it'll lead to, and then we can have ourselves a wonderful. I've only drank coffee that I bought yesterday. That was the only thing I've had today. My head is spinning.
Yet.
Get you some pancakes.
I'm pretty hungry. Yeah.
Head is
Casey
spinning.
needs something to eat too. So
breakfast
Dunkin'
for champions.
Donuts. Exactly.
So pancakes, brother.
Julia, congratulations. Julia is the new champion after beating Roxanne. Which I see as a just passing of the torch, and I believe I called this right.
Yeah,
that is wrong. Definitely.
It was the right thing to do. Roxanne, she saw the entire year go to her last year, and you know, first of all, congratulations. Second of all, D'Lo, where do you think she heads? Who does she face next? And how do you feel about her winning?
I'm cool to win. I did pick Roxanne, but hey, second time, 2 for $1. Get your change back. But who I think she'll first next? I was thinking it was gonna be Stephanie, but nope.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be either Zarya or somebody. I think it's gonna be Zarya. They're gonna want to stack that. But no, they got pay-per-view Vengeance Day coming, so they want to give her something easy. So.
Well, who is even next? Who is the number one contender? Because I really did think it was Stephanie Vaquer.
Exactly. Everyone's beefing with Fallon because Fallon is so good at her job that everyone hates her. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'll say either Zarya or they'll probably get like Jada or something. I don't know.
Somebody from outside.
Maybe.
Could be Jada. They've been pumping Jada up, saying that she's she's on a hot streak.
Jada Julia, I wouldn't mind
Parker.
that. Jada Julia, I wouldn't mind that. I'll let that for Valentine's Day.
How do you feel about that? Wildman Miller. How do you feel about Roxanne losing?
Well, I thought she was winning, so I still think I don't know, man. I don't like the whole Ethan Page thing. I don't like someone coming in right away and getting all that heat and winning the belt, even though it kind of worked for Ethan Page. It's not even Julia's gimmick. The reason it worked for Ethan Page is because they made it part of his gimmick. You know, I would have rather seen like, I don't know, Kalani Jordan or somebody who's been there for a little bit and put in the work beat Roxanne, but it is what it is. I think that I still think Stephanie's going to be her next challenger. I think that the whole thing of her winning because of we'll get into it when it happens, but because of something that happened at another point in the show, I don't think things are going to play out the way they're looking like they're going to play out right now. And I think she's going to be Julia's next challenger.
Okay, we'll see. How about you feel, Boston Johnny?
You know what? I'll be honest. NXT is it's like my kind of. I don't mean any disrespect when I say this, especially to wife beaters, but NXT is kind of like my last on the list of shows that I watch. So I'm not as up to speed as I am on everything else. So I'm gonna kind of, because it's Rumble season and because I've had my money on this girl for 10 years
Oh, I
now.
know where you're going with this.
Yeah, man. I got to go Jordan Grace.
Ooh,
I
okay.
got to go Jordan Grace, man. Fingers crossed. I don't want them to open the forbidden door. I want them to start stepping through and stealing shit and bringing it back. I want to see that NXT belt in TNA Impact.
Well, we have. Well, actually, have we?
No, we've seen the
We've
opposite.
never. No. Oh, yeah, because Jordan
seen
went
the opposite.
and fought
Jordan
Roxanne.
brought
Jordan
their
fought Roxanne.
Yeah.
Now I
in
want to see her come
in
and
NXT,
conquer, take the belt, and bring it home. Talk about kicking the forbidden door open.
That'd be beautiful.
That's what I want to see right there. But again, I'm not as well versed on the rest of the competitors, and I feel like it's kind of a cheap, easy answer, to be honest. So,
well, that's a better answer than a lot of people have because, again, they haven't built anybody to be next.
This is true.
Julia won, and like she's been, and I'll give to my 2 cents now. It's like Julia was pretty much crowned the new one as soon as she was the first person in through the door,
right?
As far as the new like stardom and all of these different.
Yep.
You know, obviously Delta Brady coming in after the fact and Stephanie Vaquer coming in after the fact, but she was the first through the door where she was the new super rookies, you know.
Right.
So I understand why she was the one. I feel like they haven't built up anybody to be able to fight her. I thought at first it would be maybe like Kalani Jordan because she came off of being the champion. Part of me assumed it was Stephanie Vaquer, but we'll mention it. You know, it won't be her obviously because she's going to be beefing with the three women in Fatal Influence, and Julia. I would like Jordan Grace or somebody to be brought from TNA to feed to Julia because I couldn't see. I can't even Lola Vice maybe. I would imagine possibly, but I don't want to see anybody who lost in the number one contenders for the North American title to be made and elevated because then it would make any sense because how could you elevate somebody? Exactly. Well, it's already they already diminished the title as it is
by having so many. They do it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and it's an embarrassment of riches as far as titles right now, and it's like it's hard to keep track of who's the ranking. You know, and it's hard to see
when you can do the belt collector gimmick in your own company with more than 2 or 3 belts.
Yeah.
It's just too many flavorless belts.
Yeah.
I feel like they'd have to, at this point, they'd have to bring somebody from the main roster down to fight Julia.
And that's why I think
and they have been doing that
from Impact would be a lateral move rather than
that would be the best
up or down.
I haven't seen much between TNA and NXT lately.
Right.
To say that would be a thing. Maybe it's cooled off and they want to spend more time, you know, uplifting their own in TNA. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But for the life of me, this is the first time I've looked at the main title in NXT and not known where it's going to go.
Right.
Hey,
that's a good feeling now as a fan. That's a really good feeling.
Yeah, yeah. Our traditional podcast mention of hip hop. The Blackheart Lio Rush just dropped a new single. Just announced it on Instagram. So if you want to check out Lio Rush's new single, he just put it up on Instagram.
Oh, Lio Rush just made it? Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Is he any good?
Dissing
I haven't listened to Lio Rush's music at all, but I know that he considers himself to be a rapper. Like he puts out a lot of music, so
I will bar him up 2 times till Sunday.
Damn.
He does not have anything on the Angelo Ball.
To piggyback off Johnny Boston, I do think that someone like Heather or Zaya Brookside could come over from NXT or come over from TNA and have like a star-making match with Julia. I think
Rosemary could too.
Oh, sure. But Rosemary's already a star. You know what I mean? I'm thinking of girls who could come over and get elevated a little bit.
I get what you mean.
With the match.
Right.
But they do nothing. They would do nothing for Julia, though. That's the thing. I feel like Julia's first title contention has to be somebody relevant enough to give her some because there's no momentum right now. And like I'm assuming like maybe it would have been Jade if they didn't want her to look so strong and the fact that she's been hurt the entire time, maybe Lash Legend faces Julia, but then I don't like that either because I don't think that she'd be able to make Julia look good.
And the Meta Girls are strong in the contention for the tag titles.
Yes, exactly. So that's why it's just confusing. But speaking of women's titles, the next match was the North American number one contenders, which I thought they did a horrible job on booking this because all four of these women would have been number one contenders for the NXT Women's Championship.
Right.
Lola Vice, who was on a heater, she was one of the hottest wrestlers in any way you can think about. One of the hottest of 2024.
Yeah.
Kalani Jordan, who was the champion at one point for the North American.
Yeah, she stumbled a little bit lately, but this could have been her comeback moment. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still here. Yeah. I'm still relevant. Yeah.
And then, Cora Jade, being that she's Roxanne's kind of tag partner.
Hey, go, baby.
Exactly. And she was so good. And then the winner of the match, who I thought nonsensical. It didn't even make sense for her to be in the match, let alone to win it. But the winner of this match was Stephanie Vaquer.
And Pan Kaylani too. Oh,
exactly. And that
so that just continues Kaylani's slide. You know what I mean? Like bad business, man.
So you stomp on the stock of two wrestlers and then you pigeonhole one.
Yeah.
Right.
So you pigeonhole Stephanie Vaquer into being she does not no part of her look gives mid-card.
Yeah.
You know what they really need to do in this case? They need to do a specialty match, be it a 3-way dance, 4-way dance, tables, ladders, chairs, whatever the case may be. They need to do something to spice up the circumstances and give everyone in the match a chance to be elevated, not just one.
A ladder match.
No,
yeah, they do that.
But granted, also, I had no idea of that viral that move that Vaquer does with the body scissor with the head.
Oh, the head gimmick.
Don't say head gimmick. You know that's
a we all know that.
Keith makes my job the most difficult. he almost tries to, but yeah, the head scissors that she does where she like stomp and turns to the hard camera. Yeah, I want that.
I want that.
She can nobody my head into the mat over and over again.
Nobody needs to pay for OnlyFans when you can watch that on a weekly basis.
Exactly.
And Stephanie Vaquer is obviously going to be feuding with Fatal Influence. And maybe
there's more.
Who knows? But I don't like it. And also Shotzi is.
Are we going to talk about that now?
Yes.
Are we going to talk about that now?
We're going to segue. So the 6-women tag team match.
Trip me out.
The team that I love to refer to as my algorithm, Gigi Tatum and Shotzi faced the battle of our algorithms, faced off against Fatal Influence, being the North American champion Fallon Henley, Boy George, JC Jane, and Jasmine Nix, and Shotzi pinning the champion, I believe. No.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. She's been found. Yep.
So that means Shotzi is number one contender because,
according to Shotzi, yeah,
wrestling is wrestling. I suppose.
Logic. You pin the champ. You get the
wrestling logic. And
okay, damn it. So can I talk? I got to talk about this. I'm going crazy.
Yes.
All right, cool. So after everything happened, Ava was in the back with Stephanie, kind of congratulating her on getting the title shot. She's saying, next week you're gonna wrestle Fallon, blah 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 blah. And then Shotzi shows up and says, "Hey, I just pinned the champ. I'm the number one contender." And then Ava, like all good managers do, said, "You know what? You guys work it out and figure out who the number one contender is," and walked away. because that's what you would do in that situation if you were in charge, obviously.
Yeah.
So
What a good
That's
ball.
why you don't. That's why you don't have 22-year-olds in charge of a business.
right.
Motherfucker.
So first of all, the match was really good. I thought Fatal Influence was going to win, so another one that I got wrong. But
Keeping it alive.
Oh
yeah. But this is what I think is going to happen. I think that Stephanie and Shotzi are going to have a match to determine the actual number one contender.
Yeah.
I think that there is going to be a miscommunication between Stephanie and Julia. I think Stephanie's going to turn heel. It won't be right that night, though. You know, there'll be like some tag teams and stuff like that where it keeps getting hinted at. And
Well
Stephanie is actually going to challenge Julia. I don't think she's stuck in the North American thing. I think that the match, the 6-man, is getting her out of it. And I think Shotzi is actually going to be the one who challenges Fallon. I think it makes the most sense if you've got all your top girls are baby faces.
Mhm.
You got to turn one, you know. And yeah, that's where I see this going. I think it's a convoluted, ridiculous way to get there.
Very much
But
so.
it's
Very
to
much.
me,
Not
it's
in
the only
wrestling. I
thing.
mean-
To me, it's the only thing that makes sense out of this whole thing. Like we said last week, the freaking 6-man match with Shotzi pinning Fallon, which is what I said
Yeah.
was going to happen. I did, you know, if I said that was what was going to happen if this was making sense, and apparently, yeah.
Mhm.
Shotzi. So maybe I did get that match right. I don't freaking remember. Anyway, Fallon.
Keith's heel
Shotzi,
turn.
yeah,
Go on
Shotzi
the
pinning
business.
Fallon sets up the match. You know what I mean? Like they could have just done that.
Yeah.
They didn't need to do all this, and the 4-way could have been a number one contender match for the NXT Women's Championship, which Pablo thought it was because it makes more sense.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, but anyway, I think it's convoluted. I think this is how they're going to get to it. I think Stephanie, the Dark Angel with the demon horns, with the black hair, is turning heel. And I think, and I think this is going to lead to it in a very kabuki way. But whatever.
You are underestimating
Stephanie-
the Filipino.
Stephanie made me have to read Thessalonians 1 to talk about the lust. To lust over a woman, you've committed adultery, and
Hey now,
Okay.
apparently that
Going
is
to
a
Bible.
thing. Yeah.
cannot do that.
Yeah, I'm not going to
You
get
was
into too many details about it, but Rosemary definitely had me seeking spiritual advice.
Spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of nepo babies that have not been pulling their weight, Lexus King.
Oof.
How do we feel about him beating Charlie Dempsey and the No Wins Catch Crew?
First of all, Ren was going to the prom, which was cool. Ren was out there in her prom dress. So
Ren's the best.
Look, man.
I love Ren so much.
The surprise.
And in a completely like wrestling context, not in like, oh, she's so hot like most of these women. I love Ren for the character that she is and all the cool
Yes,
stuff that she
but
does.
what does this mean for this nothing championship? Because I feel like the Heritage Cup is so gimmicky. It's so silly to me, and it takes away the importance of
Dude, it's the
everything.
Actual
poorest
championships.
of the poor man's $1 million championships.
Yeah.
Just carry around a big cup.
Yeah.
Hey, you
I
can
think-
get drunk. You get drunk.
Yeah, you fill it up.
You get drunk
like the
during
Stanley
it.
Cup. You know what I'm saying? You got to drink out of it after you win.
Right.
Yeah, that's one thing you got out of that thing. But
Well, at least do some sort of gimmick for it, because
Fill it-
like I
fill it with
forgot it even
champagne and Jaeger.
existed. I forgot it even
that's
existed.
what I do if I get that cup. Like, shoot.
So who's
There's a kid
who
named Bobby
who goes
Buffet
after
that
this?
wrestles for the Monster Factory, and when he won a
Yeah.
cup one year, he would come out and throw candy out of it.
That's hilarious.
That's
Like,
At least it's
It
something.
was something that
Yeah.
made sense, you know what I mean? Like,
When Bobby Fish won a tournament in Noah and he came back with the trophy and they chanted last place trophy at him.
Keith,
Right,
one
which
day
is
I'm gonna have you host
really
this
hilarious.
and then watch how office skating literally derails the heck out of everything I try to do. This man goes after this man talks about anything but
No,
I do too. I'm pretty bad.
I don't even know what I was talking about anymore.
Wrestling.
where's the Heritage Cup going? Where's
Yes,
the Heritage Cup going?
Lash Legend versus Lexus King for the title. Let's go.
Nah, I
Hey,
think Charlie Dempsey has a claim to it still. It was a sudden death. I think that's why they did it. I don't think this is done. I think William Regal still has stuff to do. So yeah.
I would like if Charlie Dempsey does more.
Me too, but he's
Or
stuck right now.
maybe Tavian Heights and Miles Bourne win the tag championship like they've been hinting over, but nobody wants to beat Fraxium.
Yeah, Fraxium is indestructible, dude.
And they're facing OTM, and I don't think
I
OTM.
think they're gonna take it.
Lexus
Really?
King
I
makes
think
me
they're gonna
sad. I
take it.
feel like he's a lot of wasted potential.
Okay.
Just
Interesting.
between the name change and the fact that he hasn't really gone anywhere in so long.
To say that he has potential even is
Yeah, I think
wild,
Lexus
but-
King is a lot of wasted TV time.
I think he had potential as his real name, but not
He needs
as
to
the
be a heel.
WWE
He don't need to
thing.
be. He needs to be a heel.
Well, he
He
needs
can't
to
be
be.
a babyface.
He needs
He
to
can't
be
be a
the
babyface.
dastardly heel because right now they don't really have, aside from Ethan Page,
He
They don't
can't
really
be
have-
a babyface.
which
It's not
Ethan
right.
Page and The Rock having a segment was interesting.
Yeah.
The final
Yeah.
boss.
And Ethan was like, "Be nice to my daughter."
Or we won't be nice together. Or I
Yeah.
won't-
He's like, "You respect me, then you need to respect her."
Yeah, respect this
Respect these
Bucktooth.
microphones.
absolute waste.
Like, come on, get out of here. He gonna smack him on the booty.
Yeah, that's funny.
That took me out. I said, hey, yeah.
The Rock. Oh man, The Rock. The Rock and Ava need to do what Santino and Ariana were doing for a little bit. They need to be like a father-daughter.
Ava doesn't have Ariana's appeal.
She doesn't
What a
have any
range.
appeal.
She don't
My
have the
word.
She don't have the range for that.
She looks like a baby in there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And let's go to probably the biggest thing.
The main event.
Man,
I was really
I was really
surprised.
into it.
Even though I called it, I was kind of surprised the way they did it. But
I know.
yeah, we have the new King of the Mountain in NXT, which I believe means that Trick is going to the new.
Yeah.
He's going to the
Yeah,
promised land. You know, he's getting him and Roxanne finally going to get elevated, and they did
Yeah.
it. They did it the right time, to the right person. But Obafemi is the new NXT champion,
right.
beating Trick Williams and Eddie Thorpe.
Kind of beating
get
Eddie Thorpe.
paid too.
Kind of
Kind
beating
of.
Eddie Thorpe. Yeah.
Which means that I think Eddie Thorpe might have a claim
Yeah,
to being next.
right.
He's going
Right.
to get F30
I think he's gonna
into
get Vengeance
Oblivion.
He's gonna be at Vengeance Day.
Yeah,
Over
30.
Eddie at Vengeance Day.
Okay.
And then we get Ober and Trick at Stand Delivering.
Oh,
We
you
can
think that's
have-
going to be a
it was-
rematch?
It was a banger. They was going at
think?
it 1-on-1. It was going good until Eddie ruined it.
I don't want Trick to take a loss on his way up to SmackDown. I want him
Yeah.
to have as much, because keep the don't do what you did with Carmelo.
Mm.
Mm.
You know, keep some heat, keep some momentum, and then go up there as a winner. Don't go up there as a loser.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Traditionally speaking, you always leave a territory on your back. But
Yeah.
since it's the feeder territory,
Right.
you know
It's
what I mean?
different.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
It's
Exactly.
different.
I agree
Right.
with you. I think that's the way it should go from NXT to WWE. Should be a
We need a proper
Momentum.
1v1.
Passing of the torch type thing is supposed to be,
and
that
it
way.
should have upward momentum. It should never have that.
Well,
You
that-
know, I'm out of NXT. I'm here on the big show, and bang, you're done. You're nothing.
Yeah.
30
Yeah.
seconds to Bobby Lashley, and you suck. Like,
Ah,
Mhm.
now, if I could last 30 seconds with Bobby Lashley in a ring, I'd be
Hey, yo.
flabbergasted.
dude, what do you think
God,
about Hurt
I'm glad you
Syndicate
had the
and
ring,
Private
'cause
Party,
God,
man?
That's crazy.
That dude
More
would
black
murder
people
me in
fighting each
record
other.
time.
I don't like
Wait
that.
a minute. I meant in the context of wrestling, all right?
Stop.
I don't know
Yeah,
what
we
you
did.
gentlemen are radioing about today.
Stop the black on black violence in wrestling, please.
All right,
Yeah.
let me back over
There's
that.
other tag teams Private Party could be wrestling.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Way more.
But man,
Public-
yeah, so
public
I
party.
think
I think Eddie Thorpe is going to be the next challenger because he wasn't at 100%. He didn't get to be in the whole match. You know, Oba admitted to jumping him. Which was all of that was unbelievable between Ava and Eddie. My God, like she's so bad. You know? It's just terrible. But yeah. Oba was like, oh no, he's not lying this time. I jumped in. Payback. He hit me with the trophy. So yeah. I do want to talk about a little segment too. Like Unholy Union is clearly entrenched in NXT now. They're having a match for the number one contender spot for the tag titles.
Really?
Yeah. That was like a really brief backstage segment that they did on NXT this week. So
I do not remember that at all.
That's funny.
I was like, nah,
Yeah. No, Unholy Union is having a number one contenders match. I can't even remember who they said they were wrestling. Maybe Metaphor. They're wrestling somebody.
They are.
It's Metaphor.
Yeah.
So they're wrestling Metaphor, and whoever wins, number one contenders for the NXT tag team.
We have a
Brett just popped in, dude. Last minute Hail Mary.
That's right.
How's it going, brother?
3 seconds left.
Check this out. So,
welcome to the very end of the show.
Yeah, I get home, my internet's not working, so I go outside. They were supposed to be here, I guess, yesterday. They never showed up. They said they canceled it and said that we weren't home. They do it every time out here because I live out in the sticks. So I got there. My cable line's frozen. It's just laying on the ground because the hook came out of the pole. If I had a ladder, I'd go up there and do it myself, but I don't have a ladder that big.
Right.
So I got there and I messed around. It's froze solid. Hang it back up in a tree to get it off the ground. Boom, 500 megabytes. I'm like, woohoo.
Hey now. All right.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Megabytes. How do you feel about we were just talking about NXT and we were talking about the title changes and all of that. Who do you think is going to be the first rivalries for the new champions, Oba and Julia?
I think Stephanie.
What's your scenario? What's your scenario? Is it the same as mine?
I don't know, but I do know that like whenever
you have a massive glare, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Dude, he's just white.
Are you on the surface of the sun?
Hey now.
Yeah.
Hey,
you might as well be walking on the sun.
When they were in that tag match not too long ago, they had some
They're
interaction
teasing it,
there.
dude.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
and that's what I was gonna say too, Pablo. When you said that they haven't really built a number one contender, they've built Stephanie as the number one contender.
Oh yeah,
like because of her interactions with Julia. It's just been
that's what I was saying about
build,
that's why I thought that this match was number one contenders for the main championship,
which would have made more sense
because to build up a challenger just to have her face the mid card one,
right?
It seems weird.
Well, like I said, I think it's going to go. I already laid this all out, but yeah, I think it's the only way out of it that I can see. You know what I mean? As a wrestling booker, as someone who's booked shows, it's the only way out of it that I can see.
So. Right.
I hear that. And then who do you think Oba Femi is going to be facing, Brent?
That's a tough one. Maybe Ethan Page.
Bad to eat.
Yeah.
Well,
Ethan Page is always a threat.
Oba is. Where does he stand on the heel face?
He's in the
spectrum.
He's like in the middle, like D'Lo says. He's in the middle.
Yeah. In NXT, it almost doesn't matter. It seems like
he's hovering a little bit.
You know, hovers more heelish, but like he's
he's heel where he's really dominant and scary. But he's also like,
and he talks crap.
Yeah, like he was heel when he fought Tony D'Angelo.
Right.
And he seems face when he's in the ring getting beat up by Eddie Thorpe, and so it's like,
I
feel like they want him to be a baby face, and then where does Fakita Lyons come in? Like
that was a one-time thing for little Snow Bunny.
There's no way we get.
They don't know what to do with Nikita Lyons.
She's
just gonna hop around in the back.
I know what I would do with her. Ooh,
I know. I would find it too, but
it
would involve the table.
Yeah. It would involve a
I see
table.
Trisha had a sturdy table. That's all I need.
I need spiritual guidance.
Brothers, we must stay focused.
You must say, focus. Ooh, wow, you're the
Right.
line.
Do we have a specific indie spotlight that we'd like to mention? Anybody?
Oh,
Otherwise, I can always talk about something because I have one in mind.
we
Don't
do
worry.
still have to do a movie roundtable, man, because I stayed up late last night watching wrestling movies.
We're going to have to, but I would say that
This week is not the time.
yeah, we would love. I would love to, and I don't even think I have time for an extra after hours of for Spoon.
Yeah, me neither. I've
Right.
got stuff to do today, and
'Cause I have to figure out if I'm going to work at McDonald's for the morning.
Hey, now.
I don't know. I've never had a fast food job, but I've
brother.
also never been in a situation where I have to have a morning job or else.
Brother, how do you feel about people screaming at you on a daily basis?
I don't like the thought of that.
Yeah, that's kind of how fast food works.
Oh,
Yeah.
never mind.
I just throw the chicken nuggets back at him.
I can't sell my blood
That's
either,
okay.
and so I'm not sure. I can't sell my blood because I'm hemophobic and I pass out. So
Oh, that's terrible.
wonderful.
You can. You just need a good distraction.
I have really nice feet though, but I don't. I also have morals.
Hey, it's just me.
I fortunately have no morals, so
How long
Yeah.
after you
Hey,
get a
look for
tattoo can
fat
you
old
get
guy
blood?
on OnlyFans coming soon.
Oh boy. Uh-oh.
Only feets.
Only feet.
Only toes.
Only toes.
My morals
man.
are super subjective, so
My
matters
moral
on-
compass always points south.
Yeah. We will mention about the movies. I think we should do that next week, but
Whatever
I
movie
found
you
some
have in
really
mind,
cool
Keith,
stuff, man.
whatever
It just
movie
gives
you
me
have in
me
mind,
time to watch more stuff. But
Suburban Commando is better.
Absolutely.
Suburban Commando is really a wrestling movie, though. It just has
I'm
wrestlers in it.
sorry. It
Has-
only
Just
stars
wrestlers in it.
future Hall of Famer The Undertaker and future embarrassment Hulk Hogan. You're right. It's not a
Nah.
wrestling.
Brother, I watched a movie
Current
last night called Alias the Champ, starring Gorgeous George.
Yeah.
That was
Mhm.
legitimately a great freaking movie.
Did you
Like,
ever
and it had
see?
two
you ever-
full wrestling matches in it.
Did you ever catch
But-
Roddy Piper's last movie, The Saint?
I haven't seen it, no.
I want to see that. Wicked Bad. That would be a good
Yeah.
one to discuss.
Wicked.
I said, hey, we should talk about wrestling movies sometime, and
Oh,
now we're
we
talking
just
about
did.
wrestling movies.
It's still
Welcome to my world.
I-
Won't you come on in?
most of this show would have been why I think Peanut Butter Falcon is better than all of them.
You guys talk
Nice.
about
I haven't
Vince
seen that
McMahon's,
yet.
Really good movie, actually. Check it out.
you guys
I will.
talk about Vince McMahon's settlement?
We did, yeah.
We
When you said it
did.
to us,
We
yeah.
talked about it a bit, yes.
Somehow he's still being a loser.
Yeah.
Get the
taking,
money away.
taking L's.
May he keep
Yeah.
taking L's for the rest of his life.
He needs to.
Like-
He needs to learn a valuable lesson.
Yeah.
Well, the valuable lesson is that he's going to die soon. So
Yeah, it's like what 80-year-old is going to really
Yeah.
learn
No.
something right
The
now?
valuable lesson is his kids are already doing their best to publicly forget him.
yeah,
Yeah.
There's your
That is
valuable
fucking
lesson. A
good.
billionaire
But
that
does
nobody
he-
will remember.
As
I would've
did
been
as did
scared.
his wife.
Yeah.
Remember
Dude,
when
she's
I
not the sharpest tool in the shed either, though. Ask her what.
Yeah.
remember when I brought up Indie Spotlight?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
that.
wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spotlight, huh?
Imagine that.
Hey
Well-
now.
So I have one. I
All right, what do we got, man?
Yeah.
speak about Minnesota wrestling and such for a bit from time to time when it comes to Tiffany or, other wrestlers that may be, but I'd like to talk about the Academy graduate Devin Monroe, who beat Matt Cardona to once again be the First Avenue champion, which is a big
Awesome.
rub, because
Yeah.
Matt wasn't meant to always have it. Matt wasn't meant to have the it long, but he wanted to ferry it to a new, an up and coming, or in this way, like an established champion. So congratulations again to Devin Monroe, but I followed Devin Monroe ever since they were going to school in the academy, going like literally, like I would watch and when they graduated and were going to different promotions in the area, and I do like the fact that like I saw them wrestle under the Skyway, like in what was it? It was a specific Taste of America. It was Taste of Minnesota, it was called. And they had an outdoor ring set up next to ODB's food truck.
Mm.
And I saw Devin Monroe wrestle against not Matt Honey, PD Brown, I think. And you know, lots of good high flying, very lanky wrestler, very talented, fun to watch. Twerks a bit too much.
Pause.
But that's just wrestling nowadays, I suppose. They go synonymous.
Okay.
So I'd like to say shout out to Devin Monroe, who is my indie spotlight this week.
I just looked Devin Monroe up real quick. He needs to put on some weight. But
it looks like Slim Reaper Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
in a way. And
Baby.
but definitely getting a lot of praise and getting some recognition for being a openly gay man who dresses in drag and wrestles. That's
that's something that I found intriguing. About indie wrestlers nowadays versus indie wrestlers 20 years ago. A lot of them are a lot smaller, thin. They're not as big as they used to be.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's been happening for a while now.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
And it goes from the top down. Like once somebody like a Mick Foley or a Kevin Owens starts to really garner respect and people go, holy shit, you don't need to be a steroided up He-Man looking bodybuilder to be good at this. Once they start to realize, these luchadors can fly. You know what I mean? Like they can do crazy different stuff other than a big boot and a leg drop, not to mention an overused trope of a human being. But
yeah, I think the difference is like Kevin Owens is 260 pounds. Mick Foley was 300 pounds.
Was he?
I'm not comparing them because they're the same. I'm comparing them because neither of them fit the cookie cutter.
I know.
That's all.
I know. I was just what I was
Kevin
getting
Owens
to is
was
like
tiny when he started too. When he was on the he was a skinny little thing.
Oh yeah. But by the time he got up to the Fed,
Oh yeah.
Even like Sami Zayn, who Sami Zayn does look like a guy that you could meet on the street.
Oh,
but
yeah.
But he doesn't have like a bird chest.
Right. Sami Zayn's in my life just outside of Boston bars. Are you kidding me?
Right. I think
with the red hair, of course.
Right. I think
that
the
taxi drivers.
I think the smaller guys on the indies have to go the Rey Mysterio route if they ever want to get signed. I think they have to get wider.
Well, because
high flyer,
the Rey Mysterio moves universally will work because if you're that size and you're trying to body slam the Big Show, you're going to look like a jackass in front of 100 people, let alone 10,000.
Well, I'm not talking about like moves wise. I'm talking about appearance wise.
Yeah,
like Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio grew lats.
Yeah, he was.
You know what I mean?
How hard is it to take the comic accurate Wolverine seriously, though?
5'2", 350 pounds.
5'3" Wolverine. Like that's real hard to take seriously.
Punched over because his adamantines.
But Ray's like a 5 foot, 3'5'8".
And I think Ray's 5'5".
Did you say 5'3", 5'8"? That is 5
That's a
inches
huge
difference.
That's a huge difference.
But what I'm getting at,
5'3" and 5'8".
If you look
at
a
whole cat of difference, what are you doing?
That's what it says on my Tinder.
But when you look at him, he's a pretty good sized guy.
5'3".
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
somewhere in there.
Yeah. Even to be as small as he is, he's a big guy.
Oh, if I'm not mistaken, Rey Mysterio's 5'5", but I could be wrong, or that could be fudged.
He's 5'3", 5'8". 5'5".
Yeah, well, I heard.
Yeah, 5'3", 5'8". That's right there. Right in the middle.
Give or take half a foot.
That's an extinguished gas.
We talked about this before. Wrestlers always give themselves a couple inches.
Oh, of
Yeah,
course. Yeah. Hulk Hogan was
Brent's-
6'8"
We're not
forever.
talking
come
about
out
it.
hot.
Nasty.
Brent's come out hot with the Ayo moments today. He
Came
came out in the last 5 minutes and tried to get in as many sus takes as he could.
Hey yo.
For a small guy, he's pretty big. Is
Yeah.
probably in the MV is Hall of Fame worthy of Ayo. So I think that was a
That's what
I think that was a wonderful segment.
Yeah, this has been fun.
For a
I
short
feel like
fella,
it's
he's
always
run like a
wonderful to
moose.
talk to y'all.
Yes.
It's always
I'll
it's
try
always
to
fun.
reel in my look at the squirrel moments next week.
Oh
Yeah.
you
Sure
if
you
you
will.
watch this back. Wait, there's a squirrel? Where?
What?
Where?
Squirrel?
But that's just something natural between us. We talk. There's always so much for us to talk about, and we talk from time to time in the chat. But for the most part, we leave a lot of our wrestling takes to hear.
Yeah. A lot of
And
times
if-
when we start getting to go on stuff, at least with me, I'm like, wait, I'm going to talk about this.
And we love to show off our
Probably so.
knowledge because like we aren't just random. Well, Johnny is, but we're not just random people talking about wrestling. Like we're pretty knowledgeable. Being that I'm pretty and everybody else is knowledgeable.
I ain't
I like
even
to think
human,
so.
though.
Whoa, how you doing, pup?
Sup, Woof?
Giant
We have
dog on
a
the screen.
guest appearance of Woof Woofington.
All
And
right, everybody.
Sammy Nova.
This has been fun, man.
Anybody
have
want to do
enjoyed
the Brent? You want to do a sign off?
Sure, I'll do
Say
it.
some
Yeah.
nice things.
We'll do it live.
I don't know what all was said today, but I'll close it out.
Everything that
Talked
you
about
said. to say.
Netflix. We talked about NXT. We talked about Hulk Hogan.
We did
talked
not
about-
talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars, though.
We did not.
Did Shad Khan make a horrible gaffe? I don't know if y'all heard about it.
Horrendous.
Listen.
He talked. Oh my word!
As a faithful Jaguars fan, and the team was created in
We didn't talk
1995.
about
Well,
Rhea.
on my birthday. by
We
the way.
totally skipped over Rhea winning the women's title.
No, I did not.
No,
I mentioned it.
Are you
We
sure?
talked about
Okay.
that.
I
We
mentioned
talked
it,
about Taker coming out and everything.
Well, I know we talked about Taker coming out, but we didn't talk about who might challenge her
We kind
or
of glossed over it.
where they
you're
were
right.
going to go from there or anything like that. We
Because we had
totally,
to talk about chaos.
yeah.
We're distracted by all the
So
holisms.
I will never be happy until Shad Khan fires Trent Baalke because he sucks as a GM, and the team is going to lose until Trent Baalke is fired.
But to say
I
it
will-
on call with Trent Baalke in the call,
That's wild.
I
is
would-
absurd.
But yeah,
Imagine being told like having your boss talking to your future possible coach and saying, "Yeah, we'll fire him if you'd like," and then not really realizing that the other guy is literally he's like, "Wait, I'm here though."
look,
Right
Wow.
now.
the Jacksonville fans have been wanting him fired since 2020.
Yeah, they've been on there. Mhm.
So I mean, yeah, fire him.
Ooh.
So I know nothing about football, but I will never be happy until this becomes Rhea's regular ring gear every week.
And I just want to chirp in and say I know nothing about football, but I will never be happy.
Yeah,
Let's go Ravens. Let's go Ravens.
That's right. Go Ravens.
Playoff time. Let's take out these Steelers out. Come on.
let's go
Joe
Washington.
Montana, baby.
Joe
Let's go DMV
Joe
Super
Montana.
Bowl.
DMV Super Bowl. We need it.
DMV Super Bowl. We need that.
RFK just got okayed, so
Hey, I did see that.
coming back to
Here you
the
go,
DMV.
Have a jersey.
Now
I
I'm
got
gonna
views
dance
with that
Bo
stadium.
Jackson.
I'd actually go to a game now because of that. Like I told myself after I realized how bad Daniel Snyder, I said I will never give money to this franchise again until he's gone.
Nah,
He was the Vince McMahon of the football world.
When I was a
And
kid,
Every
Yeah, I
single
agree.
way, from the violations, from the misconduct,
Mm.
is just
Well,
absolutely
when I
wild.
was-
dirty deeds.
when I was a kid, I had a Terry Bradshaw shirt, and that's when I learned that I got from my grandparents. And that's when I learned that if you wear a shirt people will ask you about what's on your shirt.
Yep.
If it's
Yeah.
involving sports and stuff like that.
Name
So
3
people were like,
songs,
"Oh,
dude.
you like the Steelers?
Name 3
You like?" And
songs.
I'm like, "Steelers? What are you talking about?" You know? Like,
And ladies and
So-
gentlemen, the squirrel has entered
That
the
makes
chat.
me laugh.
hey, I had to say something about football, right? You know, that's
Ray Sports. Sport ball. Anyway, Brent,
All
Let's
right.
get
that
out of
was
here.
my. That
Yeah.
was. I'll take blame because I
Oh, no,
seen the Jacksonville Jaguars thing and I saw. Yeah, Shao Kahn. Oof, good lord.
Yeah.
It's a high
That was
damn
the lion or the tiger in Jungle Book, right?
No,
Yeah.
that's the villain.
Shao
From,
Kahn.
no, that's the villain from
Mhm.
Mortal
From
Kombat.
Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Shere Khan is.
Shere Khan is the
Shere
Jungle Book
Khan.
guy.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
They're the same person.
They are.
Could be.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Oh man.
Well, thanks for
happy
everyone
to
for
be here.
tuning in this week to Roundtable Wrestling. For Johnny Boston, David D'Lo Logan, my main man Keith the Wild Man Miller, Pablo Kano, and myself,
Yeah.
Brent the Nightmare Ward. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week, same time, same channel. Kish Radio family, we love you.
Love you.
Big shout out to
Tyler
Tyler
Martin.
Martin. Thank you for everything that you do, brother.
2 sweets.
Jay Sizzle, you are the man. I like the new logo, by the way, that he posted. Did you guys see it?
Was it
missed
the
The
Frosted Flakes
But-
one?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I like-
hilarious.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Wonderful.
hilarious. Love it. Love it.
But yeah, we love y'all. Keep tuning in. More good stuff. We're going to start having some special guests here. I've been making some contacts and phone
Oh.
calls.
Oh.
So hey,
We will
Is
not
that
announce it until we
confirmed?
get them.
Is it
yeah,
confirmed?
we're not going to announce it.
Yes, we're not going to shout out Mr.
Negotiations.
Kennedy just for him to not
Can't
call
wait
us
to talk
again, so.
about my
I'm
favorite.
still upset with him, by the way.
Can't wait to
Yeah.
talk about my favorite finishing move
He's
in the
still
history of
upset with
wrestling.
Randy
if,
Orton. What
if
is
we get the guy here.
Green Bay plunge?
No, we can't talk about it because
That? Oh yeah,
yeah.
true that.
Here's
My
to John
favorite-
Cena not winning number 17.
Damn.
Oh,
Oh.
That- you don't know how bad.
Oh.
You don't know how bad I wanted to be on the show when you guys were talking about this, right?
Oh.
I wanted to be there so bad.
Damn.
We'll mention
Oh.
and then
The
next
heel
I
turn.
do want to call it that next
Ooh.
week we will talk about the movies because I
Yes.
wanted to give people ample time to get their knowledge up because when we were talking about it in the chat and all of that, I didn't know if everybody got there because I still haven't seen like the Iron Claw. I still haven't
I
seen
just
No,
finished that.
You
I
gotta
just
check out
finished
the
that.
thing.
It was
Now-
ass.
Johnny, I will say this though: if it was heel Cena, I'd have a different perspective on it.
I wish you had caught my
I want that too.
goofy prediction, but you can go back and listen
I
to
was
it later.
listening. I was actually on lunch,
good.
but I didn't.
Oh,
I was listening, and I
want
wanted to
old school-
reiterate on
I
everything,
want old
but
school
didn't get to.
thugonomics Cena to take that championship.
Oh, he's
and
never doing that again. He
I
said
want
he's
him
40.
to come out and start rapping,
That man
tearing
50.
people up. Like,
He's 50.
Yeah.
Right?
oh,
Well, I think when he was 40, he said he was 40 and he was never doing it again. So
I want
That
him
was
to come out the same
10
way
years
he
ago.
came out. Remember when he came out as number 30 that year that he was hurt, and
Yeah.
and I want
I
him
want
to
him-
come out like that.
Just
I
come
want
out.
him to get a blonde. I want him to get a blonde buzz cut and throw on some purple bikers.
Become
And,
become the prototype again.
Become the prototype. Yes.
I want him to come out as the peacemaker. That's all I want.
That would be cool.
Wow,
And
that
just
would be
zap
awesome.
people with
Amazing.
his gun.
He could
Yeah.
hit people with that toilet helmet.
Kayfabe.
That would be friggin' priceless. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
My
Right.
You
bullets
come
will
out to
go
that-
through
the
your
song.
bullets.
Do you want to taste it? That Wigwam song that's the promo or the theme song? That's a fantastic song.
Speaking
That's
of
the theme song to
songs,
Peacemaker. Do you want to taste it? Yeah.
Oh,
speaking of theme songs, the reason why I'm not going to watch AEW anymore
Oh,
Oh,
is
the
because
current one?
did you hear the Pointer Sisters?
Yeah, what was that?
what was that?
I'm so excited.
I'm
Oh, my
so
Lord.
excited.
I love the Pointer Sisters. I grew up in the 80s, but Lord,
dude,
that
I'll
was
be real with
not-
you.
I think they were trying to compete with
I think
Animotion.
I knew about that, and I swear to God, I think I just thought it was a dream.
I did too.
No, they played
That's
it.
coming back to me now, wicked strong, and I don't like it.
One of
Yeah,
my
they're-
coworkers showed me. They were like, "Do
Yeah.
you know what the new age?" I was like, "No, I haven't seen it." And he
So
played it, and I
excited.
was like, "You're not real, right?"
Fantastic.
I mean,
Fantastic.
they
You
got
mean the
search and destroy for Sting's final match.
I mean
and
the
they
song
couldn't-
Kelly Kapowski was singing when she was crying in Saved by the Bell?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm so
Oh my god.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
I'm so
Yeah, I
They are
think that-
trucker pills.
They were like, WWE's doing all this nostalgia. We got to do something. They've got Obsession by Animotion. What can we get?
Oh my
Pointer
god.
Sisters. I'm
Pointer
so excited.
Sisters.
Yeah.
We bought the Jungle Boy song just to never use it again.
Man.
If you guys
Jumps
didn't
for my
notice,
love, baby.
this
Jumps
is
for my love.
the 30 minutes after the show where we ramble.
We're just rambling. Yeah.
But
Kinda
Yeah,
like
this
it.
is just like, pro bono.
It's,
Welcome to overtime.
Yeah.
it's
All right,
just
guys.
wild to me. It's just, what the heck? I got to figure. I just still, like I said, I have to figure out what the heck I'm going to do for a job because I gotta.
Format. We don't
I only
need
have
a
2
stinking
months.
format.
Exactly. We need a format.
Yeah.
We could just
Did we
pull-
actually sign out? Did that actually happen?
Kiss is dead.
Yeah. We
Oh,
signed
okay.
out.
Okay.
Yeah, she did.
Man,
But
this was
we
gold.
ended it at 1:30. But I think
This was gold.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was good. The thing is though, like that's the reason why I didn't want to do the movie thing because there was when I looked at the news, there was so much news that we did have to tackle. Like
Right.
the Netflix thing did have to be as long as we were talking about it.
Yeah.
Because it's starting the new era.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I did
Kick
not
off
like
the year laughing at Hogan, man.
not only the
Hey.
fact that I can't see it at the gym, not only that fact, but I just did not like how overproduced. I liked the drone shots. I liked the but
It had great. I tell you what.
I
the
thought it was only
camera
going to be 2
drone
hours.
shots. It was
I thought it
cool.
was only going to be 2 hours. It was more than 3 hours.
Yeah, it was over 3 hours.
It
Like a
was,
little bit more, like a
Like
few
old
minutes. Like,
school.
But
Yeah.
the camera angles
telling
that
you,
they
it was
were
a 3-hour
using were
bloodline match.
phenomenal.
yeah.
I mean,
I
just
like
everything
drone
about it.
shots. Drone
I-
shots cool.
But it seemed very very point like it was for people who just either had to be fans already or have never watched it in the last 5-6 years and
Yeah,
wanted
it was for
crash
casual.
course.
It wasn't as good for casual fans, but I think that's what they were aiming for. I
It
think
was
they were
funny.
definitely. I think they were. It definitely ended up being more geared towards the longtime fans.
Yeah, for the uninitiated, like you
Yeah.
want them to be. It's kind of like
You want a hook?
ugh.
Yeah.
Although I have to say this, it was a short match card. Like the match card was
Right.
short for
It-
over a 3.5, almost a 3.5 hour show.
Wicked.
You had what,
Small
four
match,
Yeah.
matches?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
insane. Oh, whew.
That was insane, dude. Freaking
That
it was funny though because I was watching it with my buddy Paul and he said who's going to kick off the new era of Raw on Netflix and I said The Rock and right as I said The Rock flashed on the screen like his name. It was the most perfect timing ever. I wish we had been able to film it somehow because I was like The
and that
Rock and it was like simultaneous.
Money and bitches.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh man. But I'm gonna grab some food and watch some more wrestling movies, I guess.
Right on.
My indie spotlight next week is going to be Cha Cha Charlie.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna rewatch the
Cha-cha.
Colony.
All right,
It's been a
Cha-cha.
while since I've seen that.
Dominican Power.
Nice. Yeah, I have
I'll
to
write that
finish the
down.
100.
Yeah.
It's a tough to make it through that whole fucking show, man.
I think
By the
you'll
way,
like the
guys.
Colony, man.
By the way, guys, if you
it's
guys have
real.
not
It's good.
seen, if you guys have not seen Peanut Butter Falcon,
That is
Yeah,
great.
it's on my list.
That is
it's on my
great.
I'm
list.
looking at it.
I saw it in theaters when it happened. It was very heartfelt.
you-
It was very nice.
If you guys have not seen Backyard Dogs, 2010 Bree Turner, quite attractive, horrible fucking movie. But Hayabusa's in it, and so is Frankie Kazarian. So
Worst
Hayabusa's in it
movie.
without his mask.
Right?
He
Worst
actually
movie.
Hayabusa takes his mask off in the movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
The worst movie I have ever seen. And mind
Oh,
you,
that's not the worst movie I've ever seen.
it's
Worse than
only
Knuckleheads?
it's no, but you mentioned bad movies. I just wanted to throw
Yeah.
this one out there because literally the only people I know that have even heard of it are me, my best
Yes.
friend, and my girlfriend. My
Okay.
best friend stayed over one night. We watched the movie as we were all falling asleep. He's the only one that stayed up and was unfortunate enough to watch the entire thing. All right.
Okay.
If you ever happen, and we only found it on demand. I've never seen it on Netflix. I've never seen it on any real TV channel. I only ever saw it on demand, and it was only on there for like a week. All right.
Yeah.
This movie is called Pot Zombies.
Hot zombies?
Just think of me.
Zombies?
Pot Zombies.
Hot zombies.
Oh,
Yeah.
pod zombies.
Yeah.
Dude,
And
I feel like I've seen that.
No, dude. If you
Zombies
have,
on pot?
you would know how bad it is, dude. Like, they have like glowing eye effects that don't track with the actors' eyes. So they'll be walking, shuffling towards cameras, and the glowing eyes are staying in place.
Is it sorority girls and they throw a party and like
No. It's
okay.
It's like a house full of stoners. It's like 4 or 5 stoners.
Dude.
And they all start smoking them, and then they start like puking pink shit and then turn into zombies.
Ew.
Right.
Dude, but
Oh,
like,
dude, you know there's a sequel, dude.
the most low budget.
There's this
Let me
Pod
hit
Zombies
that.
2. Pod Zombies 2, more pot, less plot.
Yeah. That's funny.
That is
that a
actually
real thing?
Yeah, there's a sequel. Yeah.
You also know you know who else is a real thing? Jake
What's
something versus Zilla for 2 for the HOG Crown Jewel Championship happened.
Let's
not
go,
too long
Jake
ago.
something.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of the co-ed and the zombie stoner.
That's
That's what I was thinking of.
Here it is.
Which is also a real movie.
If Zilla drops the HOG title,
Yeah.
he's going
He
to
lost it?
Bloodline.
Oh,
No.
oh, when he does, I think that it confuses me why he dropped the Fatu out of his name though, if that's the case.
He's
Yeah.
just Zilla now.
Yeah, it's just
Also, they've been
Well,
dragging their feet
yeah.
with the Penta. Penta is coming next week though.
yeah, he's going to be facing
Yeah.
Chad Gable.
I better go.
Also,
Yeah, I had some. There were people who were like, "Oh, Rey Mysterio," and I'm like, "You morons! Do you not pay attention to anything?
Be
It's
pissed.
not wrestling Rey Mysterio."
That's
Wrestling
cool.
Penta.
John Cena is also doing McDonald's commercials. I just seen.
And Honda commercials. He does.
He does so
everything.
much voiceover work. He does
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, he's all in it. He's
Yeah,
hosting.
good job.
He's hosting the new season of Wipeout too.
Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's hosting the new season of Wipeout with some.
I think he
some
hosted
black
the
chick
last
I've never
one
heard
too,
of.
though.
He
Oh,
been
he's
doing it
also
the
the-
last couple years.
Yeah, he's already been doing it, but he's
You can tell
he's
he hosts every one of those episodes in a day, though. You can tell they
oh, of course, production
Yeah,
value. You can do everything in
those
one
episodes.
day.
It's him and what's her face in a recording booth. Just
Right.
Yeah.
Which is
The
still
worst
not as
movie
good
that-
as MXC though.
Oh,
No.
MXC guy.
Still
guy,
not better than
what's
MXC. Guy.
guy? Whatever his name is, Guy Ladouche.
Guy Ladouche.
Guy Ladouche. Guy Ladouche on the scene.
Yeah. They had
Fantastic.
Johnny Baba Ganoush would be
Agent
one of
Hitler,
the.
FBI.
So good.
Yes, exactly.
But
That's
the
funny.
worst movie I've ever seen, and it's probably because I don't watch a lot of movies that I don't think I'm gonna like, was Assassins. That movie is fucking terrible. Sylvester
think
I've
Stallone,
seen it.
Antonio Banderas, and Angie Everhart.
I know the
Yeah.
movie you're talking about. I haven't
Oh,
seen it.
so bad.
It was bad.
So
dude.
bad, dude. Oh my god. It's the most boring, like just
Yeah, but like
ugh.
if you watch the trailer, the movie looks awesome. You know.
yeah,
They make it
yeah,
look
but when you actually
fantastic.
sit down and watch it, holy crap.
But when
dude.
you watch it, it's awful.
That's how I felt about the
So
Human
bad.
Centipede. All talk, no
I
action.
haven't watched Human Centipede, so
No,
yeah, and I have
thank
no
you
interest
on
in
that.
watching it.
Me
All
either,
talk,
Keith.
no action.
You know, and
It's not-
I
it's
love
not
horror,
even
but-
scared. I'll put it
Yeah,
this way.
I'm good on that,
Once
dude.
you've seen
Oh,
the South Park episode, the Human Centipede, you'll giggle through the whole movie. I promise you. You'll just
I don't think
picture
I'm
the
giggling
last
through-
person in line is Kyle, and you'll giggle through the whole movie.
I'm good, dude. I'm good. I don't.
No,
Oh
it's
my
it's bad. It's
Yeah.
not worth a rewatch.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not
Good
watching
Kenny.
it.
Nah.
Martyrs. There's a horror movie that if you've seen it, you probably won't watch it again.
There's a lot of horror movies that I will not watch because I just know I won't enjoy them.
Finding Megan.
Well, that's
Don't
why
watch
I
it.
don't watch
Keith,
horror
don't
to
watch
begin
I
it.
with.
didn't
It's
have
kind
any
of like
interest in
That
it.
it's kind of like
movie,
spicy
the
food,
robot
right?
movie.
Don't
The
watch that
spicier it
movie.
gets,
Oh,
the
yeah,
less they think you
don't
need
watch that movie.
taste.
It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah.
So spicy food and horror movies are the same thing. Like they just go straight for the shock value, straight for the ouchie.
Yeah.
But some
Yeah.
There's
spicy
no, like-
food and
like the
some horror
Terrifier
movies
stuff.
are delicious.
That's why I didn't care
You
for the
gotta-
Terrifier
you
stuff
gotta
at all.
You know, I've
Find the
watched
right
all
ones.
the Terrifier stuff. I've watched all Halloween
Oh,
Eve.
I'm not
all of it.
interested.
Particularly,
And,
I'm a
it's
fan of the
gruesome.
Saw
It's
series
pretty gruesome.
myself when it comes to horror.
I liked the first couple.
I'll admit they got convoluted. I'll be the
Up
first
to the one that
but
the one
I
with-
still dig most of them. I
the one
didn't
with
like
Donnie
Spiral.
Wahlberg. The one
Yes.
with Donnie Wahlberg, where I think they had like a kid in a safe or something like that.
Yes, the second
That,
one.
I
that was
did not
brilliant.
like that one as much. Sorry,
The
dude. I
second
see
one-
you're
thought
like,
the second one was brilliant.
was that the
I thought that
second
was-
one?
Yeah, that was
Oh, wow.
the second one.
So I guess I really
That
only
was a
like the
brilliant
first one.
Yeah, they did a good
Yeah.
job with
Well,
it.
the first is admittedly the best, but
Yeah.
the most recent one, Jigsaw, was also really good because you
Was
actually,
it?
instead of following the victims, you follow Jigsaw through the whole movie.
Mhm,
So
yeah.
if I like,
Really
if I'm
good.
watching horror, I like stuff like Satanic Panic and what was the We Welcome Darkness or whatever it is. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not
That
off
was
the-
really good.
Not off the top of my head. You ever see People
Alexander
Under the Stairs?
Daddario's in it.
I tell you,
What's that?
I tell you
People
one
Under
you
the
need
Stairs?
to watch. I'll tell you one you
What's
need
that?
to watch. A Color Out of Space.
Really?
Oh, Colorado Space. With,
Oh, People Under the Stairs is creepy as fuck.
Jesus
I just
Christ,
realized
that
what you
movie
were
is
saying.
Terrifying.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Color
Yeah.
Out of
No,
Space is
thank you.
crazy.
With Nicolas Cage, right?
Yes.
Dude, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but dude, the moment that happened with the mother and the son,
It freaked me out, dude.
dude, I did that to a pair of my friends in D&D one time, and they stopped speaking to me for like a week.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
that scene right there with the
dude,
mom and
when
the kid
I saw that
freaked
happen,
me out, dude.
dude, I jumped out of my skin. I was like, dude, somebody's as fucked up as me.
But that's
we
that's
Thumb in the Darkness. That was the movie I was thinking of.
The llamas in the barn too, man. That was
Yeah, just as good.
I was gonna say you don't have to say spoiler
No.
alert because I'm not going to watch
Yeah,
it.
no one's watching these. Yeah.
A classic horror that I love, another Lovecraftian horror, because Color Out of Space was a straight up Lovecraftian horror.
Oh,
yeah.
But another one that I think everybody should watch, honestly, because it's an amazing artistic classic. Event Horizon.
Great movie.
If you haven't seen Event Horizon, it'll get in your head, but in a
haven't seen it.
I'll tell you another one. It's not. It's kind of horror, kind of science fiction. Like
it's absolutely on the line between both for sure. For sure.
There's a movie called Vivarium.
Vivarium. Oh, that's such a weird one, man.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah, Vivarium.
Speaking of Nicolas Cage, though, I do like that one horror movie that he did where he plays the janitor.
Oh, with like it was basically Five Nights at Freddy's, but with Willy's Wonderland or whatever.
Willy's Wonderland, yeah, I like that.
It was Five Nights at Freddy's, but they couldn't get the IP, so they changed all the creatures.
But that was fun.
Oh yeah, that was so bizarre. He had to have his soda breaks, man. Man.
Didn't matter what he was doing, dude.
And I
play some pinball and drink his soda.
I know our next
that movie
podcast
that was relatable.
Horror movies.
We're going to do just movies.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of next podcast, Tyler has told me that I should instead of starting a whole new podcast for my music one, he wants me to just do random episodes of Most Excellent Entertainment.
That's not a bad idea, dude.
Don't schedule guests all month and just like throw the music one in there. So that's what I think I'm going to do.
Good idea.
So that'll be fun.
Great idea.
If you want me to, I'll talk about music with you.
Oh, me
cool,
too.
Man.
Nothing wrong with that.
You know, back in the day,
Most excellent.
My nickname in school back when I was in high school was Napster. So
nice.
Really?
Nice.
You snap a lot?
Up front is,
so I know some music.
Whenever they introduce you as the Nightmare, I almost fell out of the first time I heard you introduced as the Nightmare, I almost fell out of my goddamn chair laughing. When I was in a band 20 years ago, our first album was called The Nightmares.
Nice.
My favorite band of all time is the River Bottom Nightmare Band. So not really, but
not really. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, we're wrapping up. You ready to eat something?
Oh,
all right. Casey just came in here and demanded food. So
I'm gonna go.
All right, guys.
I know, baby.
Have a
All right,
good weekend. I will
Yeah,
talk
take care,
to
guys.
Happy hunting, gentlemen.
Pablo,
Have a good weekend.
Keith here maybe tonight.
Okay,
We'll
cool.
chat.
Good deal. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are
because
you
we
guys-
actually had a pretty productive meeting that you couldn't go to. So everybody else was there, but
I felt
But
like
yeah,
it
we'll
was
talk
a.
about
We'll definitely mention it and make sure it's in the right chat.
Okay.
yeah, for sure. All right,
All
later,
right,
guys.
guys. You guys have a good
All right.
weekend.
Peace out, yo.
Have a good one.
Go DMV. Let's go
Bangor football all day.
There you go.
Hey now.
all day. Beat the Bucks.
Pistons, baby.
Wheeler.